Hello, Ujsta. Hello, Ezrevni. Ezrevni, are you a name changer? Because I would love to know what your name was formerly, so I can acclimate to your new name, and love you all the same. Yeah, Rist gets timed out all the time because he's a troublemaker here. Yeah, dude, he's a troublemaker. He's a little rascal, rapscallion. I always knew it of him. I always knew it. Make sure you big nerds use the multi-link. There you go. I have transcoding today. Link sharer, absolute link. He can't keep getting away with it. He can't keep getting away with it. I'm undeafening. I'm undeafened. Alright. Now, I can hear him when he starts talking, but can he hear me? How are you guys doing? Welcome to the third episode of the As-Yet-Unnamed 3U cast. It's quite the name that we've got going for it there. But let's keep it funky fresh. I'm gonna turn off my alerts because I know if anyone does anything, their eardrums, your eardrums. Yeah, this is just the third one. We skipped a week, so this would still just be the third one, but this would be our regular in-between week. Feels like more? Yeah. Yeah, you know, time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, Rist is gonna help me. He's gonna carry Daddy to victory, to freedom. How come these dudes get beans? Oh, dude, I'm a bean getter. That extra episode? You mean back when we just did the Rise challenge run? Hair is styling today. Thank you. Ezrevni! Who are you? What was your previous Twitch name? You gotta tell me. I got a feeling we've interacted a lot before, and you've been a name changer. I gotta know. Tell me. Right? Don't write me. Code Bruce! Makes sense, buddy. It's good to see you. How are you? How are you? How's your partner? Hope all is well. Fantastic. I hope you're, I remember you quit, you got a new job, hated that job, moved to a new job, got engaged, been a little while. Been a little while. Been a little while.
Hey, Fallison, welcome. How you doing?
Oh, look. What a pleasant surprise, chat room. Look at who we've got joining us. RistrettoChronicles. My favorite guy. Howdy, howdy.
Folks, joining us tonight, we have Mr. Fallison, like I said.
Hello,
right
hello.
here in our very own hub.
But, hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope that, you missed me, because I'd be just completely offended, if not. Because I know my chat missed Rist, but,
Oh, that's sweet.
how it goes.
That's kind of them. But yeah, welcome, folks. Welcome to another As of Yet Unnamed 3 Ultimate cast with myself, Ristretto, and Fallison here. It's been a couple weeks away. We wanted to take a couple extra weeks and kind of, I don't know, come up with the right idea for tonight, and I think we've got a nice show in store for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty funky. Uchi, you can't call it that, because it's already been named that by someone else. That means legally we have to pick a different name. Otherwise, when this becomes a multi-billion Spotify deal, Big G money's coming for our asses. I can't have that.
It's okay. I think with a name like Big G Money, it's only appropriate that we be paying them out for some big money for the name, right?
You know what? I like the way you think. Yeah, all right. We can cut them in. They can have 94% of it, you can have the rest, and I'll just live under your house in a cardboard box and eat popcorn granules that fly out of the microwave.
Oh my gosh. We haven't had popcorn in a while here, honestly.
You bet. Alright, Rist. What have you been occupying your weeks with? How is Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate treating you? It seems very well, judging by your full set. I'm still repping the drip of my poncho tucked into shorts. These are like non-Euclidean jorts, I guess. So, you know. Let's say I got a new gun lance today. I'm still rocking the base one.
Yeah. We're gonna try and get Mr. Phallus in some gear. I've been having a good time in 3 Ultimate. Thank you for asking, friend. I don't know. We've been taking things really slowly. We've progressed pretty well. I think I'm almost done with Low Rank Village. As we do, I've been taking my sweet time and kind of doing all the quests and collecting up weapons. Entirely too many weapons. We have a list that's like, it's gotta be like 20 weapons long now, if not more, in terms of how many things I want to collect.
Ryu's a good one for it. It has a lot of good stuff, good looking stuff.
Yeah, that's something that I've actually really been enjoying. I talked about this a few times over in my chat, was just 3rd generation's unique, and then it was one of the last times where they threw out a lot of returning monsters and returning designs for equipment and just straight up made all new monsters and designs. And so because of that, I mean, like, there's still some returning stuff, but a large percentage of this generation's designs, both for the monsters themselves and for the gear, is unique and kind of consistent with one another. Very cohesive. So
yeah,
it makes for a pretty fun time collecting it all.
Yeah, I think if I was to make a 2021 advertisement for Monster Hunter 3, you'd be like, hey kid, you sick of, I don't know, XYZ monster jamming up your hunts? Try Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, now with swimming. Boom! Throw on sunglasses, put game on, remember to, I forgot pick.
Oh my god, no, I have some.
Just wanted to slip that in there.
The only reason that we're here is because Phallus needs an ice crystal.
Yep. And old Muggins here forgot the,
Here, have the pickaxes.
My excuse is going to be Rise has spoiled me, despite the fact I've not played Rise in a couple of... Well, since I started Freedom Unite. So it's my own fault.
Sure. Oh, you're going that way. Okay, I'll follow you.
You'll follow me?
You know,
no need. No need. I got no idea where I'm going. You know, I knew there was 2 rocks in here. I'm a rock knower.
There are some rocks, yeah.
Howdy hey, Kage.
But I guess aside from collecting the gear, I've been getting the grips with the underwater combat a little bit in this game. I still don't know if I like it or dislike it or what. I don't know. I'm still getting there.
I think
I had... Oh, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that's fair.
I had an interesting conversation. Maybe we'll touch on this a little bit later on after our planned topics, but I had an interesting conversation where I was trying to talk about how it shifts when you go underwater. Like, you're a little bit more on the back foot, right? You don't have like the same level of maneuverability. You don't have the Superman dive. It's a little more restrictive. I was trying to compare that to how some of the older games feel to play in general, and how it kind of felt like when you went underwater, it kind of shifted the dynamic a little bit back towards more of like you are a player who is very much outclassed by the monsters, and you have to be really careful about it.
Yeah, I think I've always enjoyed that element. As the person asking why it sounds like I have a runny nose, I don't have a runny nose, just sometimes you don't get enough sleep and the old throat fails you. I haven't done my vocal exercises. I haven't been...
Fal just has a nose.
Yeah. I'm a nose haver. I'm here, I'm a proud nose haver, and there's no one out there that can stop me. I got my ice crystal, by the way.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you get your ice crystal?
I did. I'm an ice crystal getter.
It could also just be the sound compression. It could. Speaking of sound, if there are any glaring sound issues, feel free and shout them out in either of our chats, and we'll try our best to fix them on the fly.
Oh, we're gonna have a fantastic time of like balancing sound things today, you know, with the...
I feel pretty confident.
Oh yeah, I'm confident. For me and you. For Uchi though, for poor sweet Uchi, yeah, no chance.
I'm confident, I say, as I forgot to turn off the redeems for my frickin' stream.
Was it just impossibly loud? Someone got like nice in their ears?
Someone just made the "this is beans" redeem go off. Right? I'm like, oh, I'm confident in my sound balancing.
Nothing like a little beans. Nothing like a little beans.
Let me fix this crap.
Oh yeah, for those, my chat. Here's a multi-stream link in case you want to see Wrist's perspective. You want to look at his beautiful face for the duration.
Fish Kebab, thank you for the reminder to turn off all of my redeems. They are now off. You can't do that anymore.
Classic Fish Kebab. What a rascal. What a little devil. Alright.
I'm red in the face.
Alright, peep this. I'm gonna have Iron Gun Lance Plus. And then, after that, I'm gonna find out that I'm, like, missing 5 million parts to make the Lagomberator. But I'm gonna have that Lagomberator.
I get it, don't worry. Our goal today is to have some fun discussions. We have a few things planned, and also to get Phallus in some armor. So some Baroth armor and a Lagombi Gun Lancer.
Guess what Daddy just got from his spare supply?
What'd you get?
Lagomberator. I already had the parts.
Oh, nice! Wow.
We come.
Nice.
We do a little preparing around here.
I didn't realize.
All right.
Congrats to you.
Thank you. Now my drip, it becomes a little bit more drippy.
All right. So it's Baroth time then, yeah?
Begrudgingly, yes.
Begrudgingly, I like Baroth, and he's good with Gunlance. You'll have a fun time.
He is rude in this game. He's rude in this game.
He's a fun guy.
That's what they all say. Also, I need Rena Plus stuff.
Well, thankfully you can get that from the plains.
Yeah. Can I make any more? Okay. I'm actually nearly pretty sweet on Baroth stuff. I just need, like, lots of Rena Plus stuff. I need a Baroth or two, but, you know. Alright.
Dude, I don't think they don't really give us a whole lot of small mob quests, so I don't think we have a Rena Plus quest.
Get ready to rate the fit. Oh yeah. SNS is rough underwater. Rate the fit.
It's pretty good. It's getting better. We'll work on it.
Getting better, I would say. As far as the second I get rid of my jorts, this whole playthrough just falls apart.
You think you're gonna hang on to those? Just build sets around the leather shorts, the leather jorts, excuse me.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay. You know, this could be like some primordial denim. You don't know.
The jorts cast.
I like the way you think. Jorts cast? I could be in. Everyone.
Gustatron asks if there's any particular differences in the controls between this and the 3DS version. The Wii U and the 3DS are laid out pretty similarly, so the buttons aren't that different. It's definitely more comfortable playing on a Wii U, but there is a little bit of input lag, just a little bit built in. That's a little bit different from the 3DS.
Oh, I gotta put this stuff away. Otherwise, I'm gonna say, oh, I have so much garbage in my inventory.
It's okay. Fallison has a good excuse, and that is, I guess, I'll probably talk a little bit more about how 3 Ultimate's going for me as the quest goes by, or as the cast goes by tonight. But it's okay for you to be rusty, and the reason for that is I'd like you to elaborate on what you've been up to the last couple of weeks, Fallison. What have you been doing on Twitch or in life or games?
The last couple of weeks, well, as for life, I'm still in lockdown until the end of the month, so I've sort of had like an uptick in motivation lately though, which has been nice. But I've also been taking a small break from streaming Monster Hunter to play janky old horror games for October, because for those of you who don't know, I used to stream a lot of like horror games trying to find more interesting ones. Turns out that well is pretty shallow. There's not that many good ones out there, but I've pulled a few out of my my sleeves. But yeah, it's nice to sort of take a little break from Mon Hun, and I'll get back to Freedom Unite starting next month. What about yourself? What have you been playing? Oh, this obviously.
Yeah, I've been playing
smooch you, Jumbo.
3 Ultimate,
How are you?
and I've really been enjoying myself. Like this game in particular is an interesting in between Freedom Unite 2nd generation and 4th generation, which are 2 games I've spent a good chunk of time in. And I didn't really think about that before I started playing this game. It's like, oh, this is actually just an in-between 2 of my favorite Monster Hunter games I've played so far. And so I'm pretty intrigued to see how it progresses. That's one of the things I like paying attention to. That we might get into a little bit later on tonight. It's just how the games feel as you play through them. So
yeah, no, I think that's a really good topic. I think it's very interesting to consider, like, how my perception of the series has changed from, you know, the first Monster Hunter I've played, which is honestly this one. You know, how you gain different value propositions. But you know, what else for you? How's life? How's the world treating you?
pretty okay weeks. This week's more exciting than most because I have like new computer parts and stuff coming in the mail, which is exciting to me. I love messing with computers and stuff, so I'm pretty excited about that. But the past couple weeks have been just fine. There's been not much bad going on. They've been kind of standard weeks. I think that's something everyone can hopefully relate to, is having some weeks that are kind of just like they're fine, but there's nothing too crazy going on. That's kind of how my weeks were.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to, but a little excitement, a little zhuzh. It's always nice. By the way, chat, if the game is way too loud, let me know, because it's entirely possible that the game is way too loud.
Like I said earlier, I'm pretty confident about my sound balance, but we'll see. I could be proven just as wrong as I was earlier.
Well, I got a wide gun lance and I'm full bursting. Look at me go, dude.
I walked right into it as well. I mean, after I said it was a trap. We got bamboozled, both of us.
G-Money raises a good point. There are actually some really interesting weapons that were in the Japanese-only version of 3U that were not in... in 3G that were not in 3U, which is a huge bummer for weebs like me.
I didn't know much about that. I would imagine I've seen some of them in Portable Third, because you'd think that some of the crossovers would be the same between those two Japanese-only third-generation games.
Yeah, so there was Attack on Titan Dual Blades in 3G, which we did not get. And there was also a hammer that exists in this game, it just looks entirely different. That you can heal other hunters by hitting them, right?
Wait, really?
Yes. And in the Japanese version of the game, it is the kanji for a character's stand from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because his thing is he punches stuff and it gets healed. So
I don't know anything about JoJo's. This is all news to me.
Okay, a stand, it's a ghost that punches. It goes pew pew pew. That's the noise they make even. And no one will correct me on that.
Their office freaking out.
Valve does that in this game.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was one of the biggest bummers of a crossover. Weebs absolutely crying.
It definitely feels weird to me playing this game on a big old screen after playing it on a freaking 3DS for like weeks.
Yeah, I'm struggling. How have you elected for the, you know, why the 3DS version as opposed to something else?
I think part of it is just I have a 3DS capture card and I want to get to use it before it eventually breaks someday or something like that. Whoa, I'm gone. Part of it is that the 3DS version genuinely runs better than this version in some ways, where this game has some input lag and some frame pacing judder that do bother me. Now that we're actually into the quest, I feel like.
Understandable.
I don't know. I want there to be good footage of somebody, like good recent, like decently high definition footage of somebody playing through the game on the 3DS. Like someone has footage of all the different monsters and how they looked on that game.
Fair.
That's kind of my reasoning for it. I also don't mind playing on the 3DS. Like, I don't really mind playing Monster Hunter for hundreds of hours on handhelds, and my hands aren't so screwed up I can't do that anymore. So I don't know.
Oh,
I'm taking advantage of my hands and my capture card while I can.
That's fair. You gotta flex your still functioning hand privilege.
Not the goal.
Even if it's not the goal, you gotta. Old Uchi Claw Grip over there, he's just seething with rage. He can't play a 3DS anymore. Hey,
Big G says they've bothered to buy like both the Japanese and English versions to be able to experience all the differences. I have a lot of the Japanese versions. I don't know if I ever intend to actually play through all of the Japanese versions of the game. Maybe someday for the novelty of it.
yeah, it does seem cool, and it's a shame because the Japanese differences are actually like every time I've tried to Google them, I can never find them. Please don't make fun of me for wide shell full bursting, okay? I'm just hitting the monster.
This guy hasn't played Monster Hunter in weeks.
Literal weeks. I also just understand that no matter what happens, it's gonna die, and I'm not gonna play optimally.
Fair. I don't think the purpose of this cast is for optimal play. Unfortunately for folks who come from that.
Yeah.
Alright, well... Is there anything else you'd like to share about your last couple of weeks, Fallison, or should we move on to our first topic here?
Nothing of substance at all. I have been locked in a house. I am intimately familiar with the four walls in which entrap me every single day of this life. I relish the 2 government-mandated hours of outside time I get per day. That's all I got for you.
Okay. I guess the only other thing I want to call attention to before we start actually doing a Monster Hunter podcast is I just want to shout out my wonderful wife Annie, because she made us chicken and waffles tonight, and it was really, really good. I don't know that she's listening to us, but if she was, I just shouted her out because she made a delicious dinner.
Shout out to Annie. What a god, making chicken and also waffles, which is the most American... I know it's not even American, it's a European thing, but, you know, for the posterity's sake of, like, hamburger hot dog, it's American.
Chicken and waffles, unfortunately not a thing very popular in the part of the states that I'm at. Like, honestly, like, even around the cities in the part of the states that I'm at, there just aren't many places that serve chicken and waffles, which I think is a big bummer. And so, it was nice to get to have some at home tonight.
You know, I was playing some video games with a stranger the other day, and I was also playing with a friend, and they messaged me privately, the friend, and said, you know, this person sounds suspiciously like Ristretto. I was like, oh yeah? So I had to ask them, are you from this state? They weren't. Turns out they just sound suspiciously like you.
Funny.
Oh, damn.
Well, you can know it wasn't me because they were playing multiplayer with somebody.
They were also playing an MMORPG.
I think we talked about that last time, how I probably wouldn't be the person doing that either.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's funny though. Okay. Well, our first topic for tonight is one that we talked about just a few minutes ago, at least a little bit, and that is progression in a Monster Hunter game. I want to just start off by opening up the topic by saying, Fallison, if you could say, like, let's say you're just looking at a game. You're looking at a game like Freedom Night, or maybe it's a game that you've played before, your choice. What, like a Monster Hunter game, what is the thing that you're looking forward to when you first start the playthrough? What are you looking forward to, like, from the jump?
It's interesting, like, how my value of that has changed. But it used to be, like, fight every new name on the list to see every new armor set. Like, I didn't really care what was going on. I just wanted to see what their weapons and armor looked like. Now it's like, you know, I'm looking forward to getting to the high rank so that the fights are actually hard. But yeah, I remember when I first started, it was like, oh, cool, this Rathalos guy, who I'm not even remotely sick of, a starry-eyed young Fallison says, his armor looks so cool. How good. And I was like, man, I can't wait to fight 2 or 3 of him in this one particular entry to get his gear. Oh, and it has some stats too. I sure am glad that I'm getting a +2 attack bonus from his armor. That's largely how it used to go.
I gotcha.
But yeah,
Sure.
I think now it's just like, it's still the same for every new game. Like, let's say Monster Hunter Galaxy comes out tomorrow. Those new monsters, I'm still gonna, like, starry-eyed look at the new armor and be like, wow, that's really cool. Or in some instances, wow, it's really, what an awful design. But you respect them for it anyway. And to you, I posit the same question. Well, what are we looking for when we boot up a fresh Mon Hun?
Oh, I think it's kind of changed for, like you were alluding to, it's kind of changed over the years. I think when I first started playing Monster Hunter, it's kind of hard for me to remember. It's been a couple of years now. I don't totally remember what it was exactly I was looking to do when I first started playing Monster Hunter. I guess just enjoy a fun game, which, like, it seems so delightfully simple nowadays, because now it's like I have so many different things I'm thinking about every time I play a different entry in this series. Back then it was just like, oh, Monster Hunter Generations, that seems cool. Maybe I can finally get into this entry. I think initially it was kind of just checking it out and trying to, like, learn about the game, whereas now it's a little bit more like I have a whole sort of laundry list of things I'm excited to experience when I get to the top of the game. Whether it's like, there will be some things that I'll think about before I actually start it. Like, hey, this is 3rd gen, this is the one with the water. Like, I'll get to check out underwater combat. But then as I go, I'll think of things like I mentioned earlier, where, like, this game is kind of squarely positioned in between Freedom Night and 4 Ultimate, which were 2 of my favorites. And so it's kind of neat to actually get to, I'm excited to experience over the course of the game. Let's see. I'm excited to experience this game's progression and how this game's difficulty feels in between those, and how it's kind of, I don't know, its balance of speed and, I don't know, hunter ability feels. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
pretty quick.
It sure was. It was all because of my full bursting on my wide-range gun lance.
Probably so.
Nothing can stop me. I'm unstoppable.
You know, shelling is supposed to be pretty good early game.
It's always good. You just have to have a variable definition of good. It feels good. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Is that it feels good.
So that's some stuff. That's kind of like a general outlook, right? But Fallison, I was going to pose another question to you about that, and that is, like, do you think you have different goals at different parts in the game as you go through?
I don't know. It's always interesting because it's like, I sort of view Monster Hunter until the story's done. It feels like a linear experience. It's like you play until the end, and then once you're done, you start making sets. Then on any game that ever comes out, it's like I will make one low rank set. I will use that to anchor in until I get to high rank. And then, for instance, with World, which was my first like high rank only game when it first came out, obviously, I played that a lot and I built a whole bunch of sets. And then, as you know, just for fun, which is pretty much how you would typically play the game. But then, you know, I played through it other times, and it's like you make a low rank set, and then you make a high rank set, and then you go to G rank, and then you start set building there. I think maybe I play very differently to you in that way for sure. Like, I sort of just zoom through in that way.
I think that's maybe how a lot of folks tend to play through the games.
Yeah.
Would you say that you think a lot of folks' goal is to try and like get through and get to the tough stuff a lot of the time?
I think that changes based on how many of these games you're experienced with, because you're kind of cursed with knowledge, right? It's like, it's good to know stuff because you can tell people things, but also you can never experience Monster Hunter for the first time again. You can never, you know, see these new armors and new weapons and learn about how stats work and all that jazz for the first time again. So I think for sure, if you've played one before, your thing is like, oh yeah, I know Sussy Bussy, he's my favorite monster. You know, we'll just beat him up and move past him. Need more Renner Plus.
Yeah. Do you need more Baroth parts?
I do not. Amazingly, I
You don't
need.
think so?
No. I flat out. It looks like. Yeah, it looks like I have enough. I just need Renner Plus stuff to make.
Enough for all the pieces? I guess you're already a couple pieces deep.
Let me check. Do I need a tail for this?
If you need a tail, I'll go throw on a longsword.
I don't think I need a tail. Pressing
We
the
can
one.
hunt another one just to be safe. We can get some more Renoplos there.
Nah, I don't need a tail. I just need Renoplos shells. And I need to press the right buttons. Yeah, I just need Renoplos shells and Monster Bone L. Just need
Monster
one.
Bone L does come from the Baroth quest, I think. Let me double check here. It's actually kind of hard to get it in low rank. In the village, there's one specific Baroth quest that has it. Let me check the hub.
Very fair.
Port 1, yeah, leading the charge. Port 1 Merchant's Mission has 100%. Let's check out what that is. Whatever the Merchant's Mission is, has Monster Bone L at 100% there.
Oh,
I think it might be an egg quest.
Egg quest. Love egg.
I think we both have armor that should be good for an egg quest. That Moga set gives Pro Transporter.
I'm gonna rep my new threads.
I think for me, I think how I play through the games right now, I'm generally looking for different things at different parts in the game. When I first started up, like where I am in 3 Ultimate right now, I'm trying to really savor, I guess, the kind of basic things that make the game unique, whether it's the village and how the village systems play together, or, I don't know, just the actual kind of story or setup of the game. Just little more, like, more setting details or more, I don't know, things outside of the combat itself, and I try and focus on that and enjoy and kind of explore as much of that as I can in low rank, because that's when there's like not as much else to do, right?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair way to look at it. I don't know. I think the low rank experience is it always feels like an extended tutorial to me. So I'm kind of just rushing to get through it, and I do feel guilty for that on some level. Like, for instance, when Rise came out, I took that really slowly. Like, did every monster with like 3 weapons, just to try them out. Like Great Azuchi, he got absolutely smacked about. And I took my time and I like really waited, and I like really tried to savor getting up to Magna Marlow for the first time. And then, if I'm honest, and a lot of Monster Hunter games have done this to me, it feels like there's not enough setup for the payoff to be worth it in terms of the story. So I think, for the most part, maybe I'm just like, yeah, you know, I don't know.
Depends on the game. I think some Monster Hunter games do a better job of that. In my mind, things like World and 4 Ultimate both have a lot more... I don't know, they do the right way of kind of knitting together some of those low rank quests or early high rank quests to make them feel a little bit more important. So the Merchant's Mission is a Rathian quest. So let's go ahead and hunt a Rathian.
I love Rathian.
And then we'll go ahead and we'll get you the Rhinopolis parts after that. How about?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I think I've gotten better about enjoying low rank, where I think when I first started playing Monster Hunter, I was a lot more I was kind of meandering through, and then kind of after I'd played my first Monster Hunter game or two, I was definitely more along the whole fast track of just, I'm going to go through, I want to make strong stuff, I want to get through this as quickly as possible, I'm only interested in fighting the monsters I have to fight to get through, and then whatever I need to make the strong gear, and I'm only interested in like making like 1 or 2 types of weapons. And I think as I've kind of, I don't know, come to appreciate more about the series, I've tried to diversify the ways that I absorb it. I think primarily as a way of kind of getting myself as much information about how everything works in all the games as possible so I could intelligently talk about them or write about them someday.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to be.
Goal.
I don't know. For the most part, it's like, I feel like my comprehension of the series and how it all works, it doesn't change too much. Like, the core gameplay loop, it doesn't evolve so much that it's like, yeah, I'm gonna really like knuckle down and spend a lot of time with this. And I think as time goes on, maybe, just maybe, I'll take more of an issue with that. For now, it's perfectly fine. Monster Hunter Galaxy comes out tomorrow. I'm happy with the formula that we've got. Would I like to see something different? Yes. But I think mainly that just comes down to familiarity breeds contempt. And, you know, we've done this in... And the progression, do you find that it feels very, not the same, but similar game to game, would you say?
It honestly depends on the game, and it depends on how you're approaching it. Like in this game, I'm purposely avoiding sets that I think are going to be strong and make low rank feel like a breeze or feel like just a pushover. So I haven't made any armor explicitly that has like attack skills on it. Like I think Gobble has crit eye on it, and I think the Gaia Chris armor I just made has weakness exploit, but I haven't really used it for a fight yet. But I definitely avoided things like Jaggy or Alloy that have like stuff that's just easy to keep your damage up. I've been trying to make some oddball sets.
You know,
really
sorry, please finish.
No, I've just been really enjoying that, and I think that's been a little bit different. I don't do that in every game, but between that and not upgrading my armor, it means that I have to respect things, even as the patterns are simpler in low rank. It means that as I'm collecting things, I don't kill things in 2 minutes, so I actually have to spend time fighting the monster and interacting with their patterns and learning them. And it means that I don't know, it means that I actually have to respect them at least a little bit because my armor is still pretty spongy, or still pretty squishy, rather, and they could kill me pretty quickly. She must be in area 2.
Maybe. Sorry, I'm collecting bugs.
You're good.
I guess on that question of you, and I guess to an extent I do this too, we create our own challenge once we've played the game as many times as we have. We sort of, you tend to avoid these skills. Do you think that maybe at that point, then like the next Monster Hunter might be past the need for such lengthy tutorialization? Because for instance, you know, if you have the knowledge that you do you think that maybe it makes like the low rank in these games a bit more meaningful and you would like it to be more challenging even when you're absolutely trying your hardest? Or do you think that Monster Hunter is meant to be a more... Do you think that it's meant to be a bit more of a cozy game where it's not meant to be too challenging, but it can be as simple or difficult as you so make it?
I think I get a lot of satisfaction out of learning in this game and overcoming tough challenges, whether it's a monster that's really fast or a monster that has lots of HP or my stats are just utterly outclassed, whether that's because I've limited them or because the monster is just really crazily scaled to where it's at. And I think that's really fun. So I'd be super down if they just make things tougher, but I don't think that's what we need in low rank. I think that, I don't know, if you ever really want people to get into the series, there has to be some kind of like a ramp.
I agree. All right.
I think I wish that there was a little bit more of. I think what I wish for, personally, as far as what that goes, is I wish that there were a little bit easier ways for players who are looking for tough challenges to kind of be ramped into those or have on-ramps right into those tough challenges, and players who are looking for a little bit more of just a cozy time to have a time doing that, whether it's like a difficulty selection or like, oh, this is just like an advanced quest, and it doesn't give you much in terms of extra rewards. Maybe it gives you a little bit higher drop rate for the rare, or it gives you a little bit higher drop rate for, I don't know, like stuff you need for cosmetics or something. Nice.
Thank you.
But I think that having some variations on difficulty like that, so that people who do want all parts of the game to be challenging could do that, and people who just want the game to be cozy could do that, wouldn't be a necessarily bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think making games with the like top 5 to 10% of players who are gonna like take it really seriously is, you know, a sensible decision. But allow me to play devil's advocate for a moment. They release a game tomorrow. It has a very difficult low rank that's like quite easily finishable and doable with some challenge by, you know, people who are pretty experienced, but it would be a very tough sort of entry for folks who had never played one before.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about that?
I mean, I think that selfishly I would be very happy. Not because it would be putting other people off of the series, but just because that is catered towards what I would be looking for. I don't think that's likely, and I don't think that that would be heralded as a good thing, particularly by a lot of folks, but I think it would be something that like would be up my alley, personally, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the question is like someone says, "Oh, there's a ramp." Your answer could be like, "Why would you play the sequel before you've played the original ones, the ones that teach you this?" Again, playing. Yes. Sorry, could you please repeat that?
You're good. I don't think Monster Hunter is meant to be played like that, where like you have to go back and play a different entry that's supposed to be like, oh, that's like the slightly easier entry. Outside of the expansions, obviously. I do think with the expansion content, like the G rank content, Master rank content, should be something you should get into once you've completed the base game. I think like ramping you into that content too soon is kind of a mistake.
I think that's a very fair way to look at it. Okay,
John Jinx has a question in my chat. They're asking, with knowledge going into a new Monster Hunter and knowledge about how to play whatever weapon you're using, do you challenge the introduction to the flagship monster, like an early intruding quest? I think I haven't always done that, but I've been doing that more recently. I've been challenging intruding monsters just for the fun of it. I've been enjoying doing that. Sometimes it's pretty sweaty, depending on the game and like what your gear is like at that point in the game. You might just have like yellow sharpness and no armor, depending on the game it is.
I think that's fair.
It's pretty early on.
I think that's fair. I think as much on the, you know, I mentioned this before, sort of jokingly. I'm about to. There we go. The curse of knowledge. So, I think it's very fair to say that like you and I both know Rathian inside and out at this point. We fought her in every game, etc. Would your low rank experience be better if in the next game, similar to 3U, we just had like a whole new slew of monsters, and it was like, we ignore everyone that's like, oh, I want Rathalos back, I want this, that, or the other, because, you know, we've seen those guys 100 times before. They just did like a whole new slew of monsters, and they were updated for the new generation without trying to compromise by keeping them in keeping with tradition. We had new stuff that was like adapted to our movesets. Like, you know, for instance, Rise Rathalos is pretty good. He has a couple new tricks. I still don't think that he's where he needs to be because they're still hanging on to what we know of Rathalos.
Sure.
Do you think that we get not Rathian, but, you know, Blathian instead, who has a completely new moveset or moves in a completely different way?
I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be cool if they had a game that was mostly like third gen and that it was not many returning monsters, mostly new monsters.
Yes. Okay. Do you think it would sell as well if it didn't have the... Do you think Monster Hunter has the mascot appeal?
I think it certainly gets like fans of the series pretty hype. I think that Monster Hunter would sell well even without that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I guess...
I think people get slightly more hyped for returning monsters because they have so many good memories with them, but I think especially if you had a cast that was enough monsters to make up a whole cast and it was mostly just new monsters, I think especially if you just kept showing off those new designs, I think folks would get pretty hype over it.
Yeah. I for one, and I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but I feel
okay.
like it's in the spirit of the question. I think that nostalgia is like pretty clouding in terms of like how we value things or how we value like this game. And I don't know, just like going back and playing Freedom Unite and seeing how the other monsters are there, they've removed ideas that didn't work, such as Azure Rathalos's Around the World, which I think is terrible. I think it's easily the worst move any monster has ever had in any of these games. It's just the worst. So it's a good thing they removed that, but it doesn't feel like their kits are necessarily up to snuff. It feels like maybe Monster Hunter is evolving past the monsters that we've got. Maybe it's evolving past like a whole bunch of that stuff. So I guess I'm fascinated, and I know for one, you like Bishaten in Rise. Like he's a great monster, really cheeky. He has the thing where he drops his stuff, and like that's his gimmick. And I think that that's a really cool step in the right direction. So they've proven that they can do a lot. But do you think that at some point you would get sick of them not ripping off the band-aid and just letting us have brand new monsters?
I think if there were enough games, I understand what you mean. I think if there were enough games that just felt like pretty similar in terms of these monsters take these spots in the roster. Like when you think about a roster of monsters, how you need some early game monsters, you need some late game monsters, you need maybe some Elder Dragons. And when you think of each game having spots, and like I don't want to think about it like, oh man, this monster took this other monster's spot. I just want to think about like you need some monsters in those roles, right? I think enough games with the same monsters in those roles gets pretty dull, or it gets like a little bit more dull, where that's one of the reasons why I really like Portable Third. I've talked about Portable Third before as a really special experience, even within 3rd generation, even within Tri and 3 Ultimate, because of its monster roster, where I guess, especially coming from some of the bigger games like 4 Ultimate or Freedom Unite or now World Iceborne, if you took any of those games, you played through all those games, you went through their grind, you got to the end game, you made a bunch of powerful sets, and then you went and played Portable Third, it's like so much smaller. But it's like refreshing. It's so different because you don't have Kushala and Teostra for like the 5th time in a row. You don't have almost any returning monsters in that game, and it really feels special because of it. The progression through the game feels different because some of those monsters aren't holding the same spots they usually do in terms of like, oh, this is a mid-game fight, so we're gonna have some stuff like Gravios or something like that. It's just, I don't know, it's neat. So
Yeah.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I think I'm finding it hard to be excited for returning monsters. Like, I just can't be like thrilled by the idea that like something I've fought before is coming back. So yeah, I honestly think, rather selfishly I might add, but I'm going to indulge myself in this. Yeah, nix all the monsters, come up with a whole bunch of new ones, and give me, and only me, back that feeling. None of you, chat room, you're not welcome to it. That feeling of like fighting a new monster for the first time, for like 20 monsters in a row, checking out the armor sets for the first time. And another thing is, I think that provides a different level of challenge, because for instance, even with going back to Freedom Unite, I knew the second I saw Jan Kutku in low rank, it's like, yeah, I'm just going to make his full set, because I know without even looking at it, it gives me attack and health up. And it did, and I'm using it to anchor my way through low rank in Freedom Unite.
Sure.
No.
So yeah, I think there's some validity to that, and I think that it's tough because there are always going to be people who want those hype returning, like Zinogre's in, I love Zinogre, and like Zinogre's hype, but like having a game without Zinogre makes him more exciting when he does come back a couple games later. It just, I don't know, it gives some breathing room where like when you have a cool monster like Magnamalo, like Bishaten, like let's say Almudron or Somnicanth or whatever, some of the new monsters in there, when you also throw in things like Nargacuga or Zinogre, I mean it's hype, but sometimes you can't let those new designs breathe as much because they can't fully fill that like spot in progression where they're supposed to be like, if Almudron was supposed to be like one of the toughest hunts in like the end of a rank, towards the end of low rank, towards the end of high rank, he also has to contend with some of those tough monsters like Zinogre and Nargacuga and Diablos. And it's like, if those weren't there, he might have more, like they might have buffed him up a little bit to more kind of fully fill that role in progression. I think it's valid to wait and see that.
Yeah, like the way I view it is, love Zinogre, Stygian Zinogre's in one of my top 3. I have fought 6 versions of Zinogre across what is effectively 3 games. Like, it's nuts. There's there's a lot of Zin out there. And as cool of, like, he's my comfort hunt. He's my guy. It's like, yeah, I just want to jump on for one hunt or whatever. You know, let's go. Oh, I got my monster Bonell. Now we just need Rhinopolos shell. It's at the point where it's like, I sort of don't care to see him anymore. And if I did care to see him again, I would just boot up 3U, or I would boot up World, or I would boot up Rise, because he's in all of these games. You know what? I've fought him, like, a billion versions of him across, even more than that. I completely forgot about him existing in Rise as well. So it's like, you know, I think that there's a case to be made, like, you know, how many monsters can they make before they inevitably copy one? But I think that they've been copying the same monsters for so long and using the same skeletons for so long. How hard can it be to, like, come up with some new ideas, really force themselves to try stuff? Because
I don't buy that. I don't buy the whole, like, they're gonna run out of ideas. Like, no, they're not. There's so much more to be done, especially because it's not just them, like, shuffling through the same archetypes. Like, there are common themes between monsters, but these games are shifting. These games are changing. It's not like we're still chugging potions and we're still, like, slowly sharpening our weapons or anything. Like, things are changing. So those monsters and the ways that those monster ideas, even if they are similar ideas, play out in the newer games are gonna be different. They don't have to be, like, Rise Rathalos didn't have to be Rise Rathalos. It could have been a different monster.
yeah, exactly.
I don't think that the whole, like, they're gonna run out of ideas. Like, I don't think so. As they change the games and as they continue to, I don't know, shift the series to wherever their vision leads them, I think there's always gonna be room for new and exciting designs to kind of work.
I think we're getting to a point of, like, good old rock. Nothing beats that. It's like, you know, just...
Huh? Wait. Oh, you mean like music?
No. There's like a scene in The Simpsons where Lisa and Bart are playing rock, paper, scissors, and Lisa knows that Bart throws rock every single time. And he says, good old rock, nothing beats that. Sorry. It's a dumb reference that I now have to explain, and I'm embarrassed. But, yeah.
I mean, why are you embarrassed? Everyone's seen The Simpsons. I just haven't seen The Simpsons.
No, I think that's fair. But yeah, I think honestly, no, they're not even close to running out ideas. And even if, let's say, they were to port over, the 1 billion really interesting ideas that they had in Frontier, and clearly had more, I just don't think that they're close to running out. I think that, in general, people are scared that the Monster Hunter they know now won't be the same Monster Hunter they know in 5 years. But here's the thing,
won't be.
that's a good thing. You don't want that. I can't stress this enough. I've tried to be polite about this, but no, you don't want that. If you think you do, you don't. You don't. You don't want it. Because you might think now, oh, you know, everything's comfy. But it's gonna get boring eventually. You're gonna dislike the franchise as a result. And the same people that are saying never change anything now, or not never change anything, that's reductive of me, they're gonna be saying, oh, you know, I'm sick of this trash. No, change it. Do what you want with your creative vision, Monster Hunter. It has enough of an identity that they can mold things around it. Don't put Rathalos in the next game. No more. No, change good, Big G Money. You? Wrong objectively.
They're joking.
I know they're joking. And I'm a Big G Money fan. That's me. #1 fan, tattooed on my wrist. But also, I'm gonna call them wrong, because I respect them.
Fallison, what are those little... You see those little things out on the plains moving out there? What are those?
I am gonna guess that they are... I think they're like...
They don't look like anything.
They might be the boats.
Boats?
Yeah, the sand skiffs or whatever they're called.
You think so? But the trees are so big.
Okay.
Aptonoth?
Okay.
This is Aptonoth. Those don't look like Aptonoth at all, though.
Yeah. Maybe the perspective is just wrong, and
I think
those things
what that used to be, maybe those were supposed to be Slagtoth back when they were like 4 pixels on the 3DS, and now when they're on the Wii U, it's like, oh, that's not anything at all, is it? That's just a slug, like Lassenheat said.
I don't like... You've endowed me with the forbidden knowledge. I'm just
Where's the binoculars?
I'm just gonna walk away.
You make them worse. Here, they're more Rhinopolis this time, or this way, I think.
All right.
You can see them better in other area. Oh, okay. Well, in the other area, it probably shows them as Aptonoth then.
Hey, Gooey, and hey, Civ.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty nice. I think that's a pretty nice discussion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something like the more I talk about it, the more impassioned I become. And like I'm so like stuck on this. The person who's like Freedom Unite is my favorite game, but also like I can name 2 fights in it that I enjoy, and it's like a crab and Blangonga. I don't like anything else. It's like, that's something you have hundreds of hours in. You're telling me the only core gameplay loop part you like is Blangonga? And this repeats in my mind over and over. I've tried to be polite about Freedom Unite in that way. It has some jank. But yeah, like, then I'll run out of ideas. They're like, just look at an armadillo or something. I don't know. Look at a big toad. Yeah, Quill, you handsome devil. I don't want to call you out. But, it was Quill. It was Quill said this.
Those are Quill's favorite fights in Freedom Unite.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love Quill. I kiss him every day. But he's opened my eyes, expanded my brain, certain thing. So yeah, I'll comfortably say this is my favorite franchise of all time. I love it more than I enjoy getting out of bed in the morning. Change it.
I think I've been hearing that perspective or that particular thought from lots of people, and it's very different from different folks.
Yes.
I think it's different for different folks. Some people are like, throw out the entire damage formula. Get rid of it. Chuck it in the bin. Make a new one. Make a different one. Balance it better. Like, that's what they want. You want different progression. You want different monsters. You want different world or quest design.
Yeah, Uchi, I want them to take 2 to 4 years breaks between releases. I don't really care. Yeah.
They do.
Well, you know, I'm just...
They do currently. Each team currently takes 2 to 4 years to make a game.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this doesn't need to be a yearly release. Like, as it stands, they could have released 3 Ultimate. They could have updated it 3 times with the Generations Ultimate and 4 Ultimate expansion pack and balance patches. And then they could have released World, and none of you would have been able to tell the difference.
You think so? Why do you think?
Well, think about it like any game that gets updated, you know. There's just not that much different. Like, there's a lot that's different. There's a lot that's different, but there's not that much that's different. All right?
I think there is. I think if you tried to graft all the different changes in balance and design and ideas that are across those couple games onto one game, you would get a freak show of a game, and you'd get Monster Hunter Frontier, where half of the mechanics are really sick and half of them are just depreciated. And you're like, how did that even work? You can't even tell anymore. It's gone. You couldn't graft a game together that had For You guild quests, Moga Woods, Styles, Deviants, Frenzied monsters, guild quests all onto the same thing, and expect it to actually like play like a proper game if you started at the beginning and played through. No way. I think they are all very different experiences. I
think I agree with you. They're all different experiences, but if well thought out enough, you wouldn't notice. That's my contention. Why can't something have guild quests with underwater combat and also styles and all that jazz?
So are you saying that they should do that? That they should spend more time updating the releases that they put out?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm just saying...
I've lost the argument. I've lost the point.
No. There was no argument. We're just having a discussion.
I know. I've lost the train of thought. I've lost whatever position you were speaking from.
I'm just saying that many of these games... There's enough similarities that, you know... Surely you haven't played them all. You haven't played them all. You haven't played them all.
Some folks have.
No. No one's played them all. They're telling you fibs.
Sure.
No one's played them all. No. No one's played them all. Anyone who says I've played them all and I've got all of my save files to prove it, those are doctored Photoshop images. You've never played them all. I like Uchi question marks because, like,
Uchi says because Mike. Uchi's played them all, you jerk.
Uchi, oh yeah, has he played Rise? Didn't think so.
Yeah, he will.
Okay, the Centus dude, if you think my take is bad, please tell me why.
Uchi says they're about to.
Yeah, they're about to in
I'm still confused by what your point was about saying that.
My point? Oh, he said he'd played them all.
Literally tomorrow, says Uchi.
Yeah, I'll bet. That would stagnate game development. Sorry, I'm not sure what point is being disagreed with though.
I'm not
happy
sure
to
what
clear
point
it
you were making, buddy.
up. I wasn't really making a point. I was again just playing devil's advocate. But I honestly, I do think that 3U, 4U, and GU, they have the same bones. At the very least.
Do you think those are different bones than Free Me Night?
Well, yeah, those three are actually good. Sorry. Sorry.
I do think there are different kind of subcategories of Monster Hunter that you can split it into in terms of like their original vision in the first couple games, and then the middle couple games that like 3 Ultimate, 4 Ultimate, Generations Ultimate, that all have kind of a similar design philosophy in terms of the pacing and the structure, and the challenge design they were going for is very different than the first couple games. And then I think it splits again when you get to World.
Yeah, no, I absolutely
there's
agree.
a different idea for things.
I guess what my actual point is, when I'm not being a smart aleck, is if you, like, on its head, if you look at, you know, from Freedom Unite up to GU, they do play similarly. They do have very similar DNA. The pacing, the flow, like you said, is very similar. So I just can't abide the idea that if we were to have like 3 Ultimate and then 4 Ultimate, which had like a completely different cast, that people couldn't be satisfied. I don't know. I think on that note, like 4 Ultimate is a fantastic game. What business did it have having, say, Rathalos? Dude, just on that note. Oh no, DeSantis, I was not being legitimate when I said expand it. I'm saying that they could have done that. I don't think that they should have. I don't like that. I don't want that. But I think that at this point, change is inevitable, and it's coming whether we like it or not.
I mean, I guess you sound like, I guess I'm sensing from you, are you disappointed that they kind of had sort of a similar design philosophy there for those 3 games and just kind of approached that design philosophy in sort of an iterative way?
My disappointment comes from the fact that it feels like maybe, just maybe, they're not innovating and they're playing it far too safe. And
you think that even after 5th generation?
I do. I think that World is very experimental. I think Rise is very experimental in that way too. But I don't think that the issue is the... I don't want to say the gimmicks. So, you know, for lack of a better word, the things that the more gimmicky aspects, let's say. I don't think that they add enough to the experience for me. I think that
you're looking for more substantial change.
Yes, I think with the crutches that they still have, and they're still sticking to, honestly, it's just maybe not enough. Like, I think that Rise obviously is different. Like, it feels different, it plays different, and you can tell these things, right? But I can still tell what it is. And I think that's a good thing and a bad thing. I don't really know how to articulate this point so well, but I do.
It's a pretty wide topic.
Yeah, it's.
Like I said, I've sensed this sort of energy from a decent number of folks, whether it's you or Maestro Nox or whoever. Lots of people have felt like there's some kind of big change needed. Not just let's change out the gimmick, let's shift the combat difficulty style a little bit. They want substantial change, whether it's completely changing how the damage works, completely changing how the fights work, completely changing how the core of the experience works, like in terms of how you progress through the game or how the map works, or just all that. People do want that sort of substantial change. I have heard that from folks.
Yeah. I just, like, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of opinions like that out there, and obviously no one can be right on that. And obviously no one should take my personal opinion to heart. But, you know, I see comments like, they clawed their way to the top over 20 years, or this, that, or the other, or like, Rathalos is the mascot. He's a boring mascot at this point. He's a mascot we've seen every time. And no, I don't think Rathalos is what makes Monster Hunter Monster Hunter.
No, of course not. But, I mean, do you think that there needs to be a monster in Rathalos' role in terms of like a slightly oppressive, slightly jerky mid-game fight?
Of course. I don't think it needs to be the mascot, though.
Okay.
I just don't think the franchise needs a mascot.
That's fair. I mean, I think the mascot could just be Big Sword Guy, but that's just me.
Yeah, the mascot could be Big Sword Guy. Why not?
I guess guess I don't know. I think I respect that opinion. I don't think they'll do it because I think like
No.
I don't know. I think you're looking at it from like what would make this feel drastically different. What stuff doesn't necessarily need to be there in terms of I don't know. What stuff doesn't make the experience feel much better? Because Rathalos, like if it was I don't know, if it was just a banger fight and it was changed drastically in each game, you'd be like, wow, Rathalos in this game is super sick. Rathalos in the next game is super sick. Like, if you were into it, if it was exciting seeing what Rathalos was going to be like in every game, you'd be more into it. But because Rathalos is sort of the samey, and sort of samey in every game, you're feeling more like it'd be better if they swapped him out or they swapped out another monster into that role.
Yeah. I completely disagree that Rathalos needs to be present. I'm not even saying remove Rathalos. Like,
yeah.
On a base level, I'm saying, yeah, get rid of him, axe him, whatever. But
sure.
There are so many, and this is an RPG franchise. Don't get it twisted. It's not the traditional kind with like leveling and stats and that, but this is an RPG. Plenty of RPGs go entry to entry and they don't have mascots, yet they still sell because it's another entry in the franchise. Like, bad example, I know someone's going to jump on this one, but it doesn't matter. The Elder Scrolls. Who are the mascots of Elder Scrolls? All of the components are there, despite not really having a lot of the same core gameplay. You know, it's sort of generic dungeon crawly type elements, but you've got all the races, you've got the naming conventions, you've got the world building.
That's a fair example. Like I said, I think you're looking at it from that direction of just, I don't know, Rathalos being semi-similar, iterated upon, and being on every game doesn't add much to the experience. I think there's probably a decent number of people who feel otherwise, including probably the team itself if he's always there. I feel like if they didn't feel like they wanted him there, they probably would have axed him by now. I think like there's probably a fair bit of like actual fondness for Rathalos in the actual Monster Hunter team. Now I'm assuming that. I haven't talked with them. Ryozo is not buddy with me where he's like, you know, I like Hammer and I like Rathalos. That has not occurred. It would be nice if I could talk with Ryozo about Rathalos, but I don't know. I think that there are probably people who feel the same way you do, but also still feel like there are certain things that just fan service isn't quite the right word, but certain things that are just endearing tradition, like having a Poogie or having little companions, or just there are little goofy things like the steak getting cooked or stuff like that. There's stuff like that people actually feel attached to, and I think some people probably feel the same way about fighting a Rathalos, flashing that jerk out of the sky and smashing his face in, that they feel about petting Poogie and cooking a steak.
Yeah, like, I totally agree with that. I think that's fair, and if that's your opinion, heck yeah. However, on the Pokemon comparison, though, I honestly do think Monster Hunter is getting to be a bit like Pokemon, in which they add a new thing here and there, and it's just still not... You know, Sword and Shield was not fun. I'll just leave it at that, because I don't want to delve too much into Pokemon. But
oh, I thought you were saying that Sword and Shield in Monster Hunter was not fun. I was like, yo, that you have crossed a line, bud. We are going at it.
It's my favorite weapon. It has always been my favorite weapon. But no, my argument is not... Sorry, I don't want to get too much into the perspective of, like, arguing with chat. But my perspective is not Charizard is overrated. It is... Imagine if every day you woke up and you fist fought Charizard, you know his moves, and then, like... They paint him blue and make his graphics 4K, and then it's the exact same fight. And I don't think Rise changed enough. It's still the same Rathalos, but he has a couple more bells and whistles.
Disagree. I think the fight overall, like some of the moves might be similar to his old moves, but I think the actual fight itself feels drastically different and drastically more fun in subtle but important ways. Where like he still spends time in the sky, he's still flying, but his combos are fast, and his combos have like a couple different variations depending on what movie starts and ends with, but there are set starts and ends that didn't exist in some other games. And it drastically changes how you deal with, like, okay, how you, I don't know, rule out those different patterns in the sky and then get ready to punish depending on what move you know he's ending on. I think that's really fun. I think it's a lot more fun than just flashing him out of the sky or just kind of like waiting for him to freaking come down.
Oh, I agree.
I think it's a pretty big difference.
I agree, he's better, but here's my problem. It's still just Rathalos. He's a nicer Rathalos. He's a more polite Rathalos with the comb over greeting me at the door. But I still, you know, he's still Rathalos. I still know him. He's still the same Rathalos. Not the same Rathalos I've always known, but he just isn't different enough. And I think that this problem will become... think of it like I'm talking about future-proofing. As everything stands right now, I'm content with it. I'm content. I like it. I'm happy. I'm excited for 6th gen. If 6th gen turns out to be just Monster Hunter World 2, or it turns out to be Monster Hunter Rise 2, I would be a little bit disappointed. I would still play them. I would still play these games, and I would still enjoy them. I'd still put 500 hours into them, and you won't catch me complaining or having a whinge. But over time, we will see these things sort of start to tick up, start to be issues, I guess.
Gustastron has pointed out that we have not gone on a hunt in a moment. I was going to ask Fallison, do you still need Renopolis parts? Do you still need Baroth parts? What do you need?
Oh, I don't need anything else now.
Okay. Do you have the full set?
No, I don't. But I won't bother with the gloves.
What do you need?
Right, let me. I think I need another ice crystal.
That's not a full set. Another ice crystal?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well then let's double check, and then we'll make sure we bring pickaxes, and we'll go and we'll get some materials.
Yeah,
going.
Sorry for forgetting the hunt. I think that the conversation was a bit more spirited there, shall we say? Oh no! Amazingly, I just need more Renopolis shell.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. So let's go ahead and let's get some more Renopolis shell, and then we'll go back. What should we hunt? If Kurapeko is in the sandy plains, we'll go ahead and we'll hunt Kurapeko there. No, that's Deserted Island. Leading the charge. Looks like leading the charge is the only actual hunt in Sandy Plains. Let's go ahead and let's hunt another Baroth. Why not?
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Right.
I guess my point is God Eater sucks. Dauntless sucks. I don't like either of those games because they feel wrong. But I'm saying they can make Monster Hunter. It just needs to have something that isn't what we're all used to. It isn't the same thing that we're, I guess, aware of at this point.
You really love this series. You love this team. You love what the experiences they've given you, and you would like them to keep giving you substantially different experiences, kind of like they have in the past for you.
Yeah, I want them to capture my attention rather than just satisfying. You know, instead of giving me something I know I want, give me something I don't know I want.
I mean, I think Fallison, I personally trust them to do that. I don't know. I feel like you're coming at it from a little bit more of a doom and gloom. Like it's too much the same. I don't trust them to keep making things that I
please.
like playing.
If I gave you that impression, that's not all. My problem is more that as time goes on, it will feel same, and it's already, for me at least, it's getting to that point. It's getting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that's how you're feeling, and so I don't know. I think I'm coming at it from a little bit different direction where I feel like they've done a pretty, I think on the whole, they've given you and I our favorite game series, right? Across a great many games. Even if there are some where it's like, okay, that's not my particular cup of tea, whether it's Free Unite or Freedom or whatever it is. Like, for some people it might be the new ones, for some people it might be the really old ones. It's going to change based on the person. But I don't know. That's the thing is whenever I start getting a little more doom and gloom about Monster Hunter, whether it's like, oh, it's going to turn into like DMC, Bayonetta, craziness, super too fast, like everything's going to feel like dual blades and have 15 parries, and like whenever I start getting down about that, I think about how many games now and how consistently they've made great games over the course of 15 plus years. And it's like, you know, I'm just going to wait. And I think I'm going to expect the best from them. Or I'm going to expect, not the best, but I'm going to expect good things from them.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I always expect the best out of the team. And I always know that they're going to deliver a product that's fantastic. And to anyone who is interpreting what I'm saying as make it a character action game, I've said nothing of the sort.
Oh, so, I don't think that's my personal example because that's what I get worried about.
No. I'm let's just say I'm preempting, shall we? No, I don't want it to become faster. I don't want it to become this. I don't want it to become that. I just would like some different monsters. I would like for them to not play it safe with the.
I'm saying have faith. I think they've done a pretty darn good job of slowly evolving this series in ways that make it more appealing and make it different. I don't know. I think you should hang on and wait.
I guess don't treat it like, here's the funny thing. It seems to you like you think I'm coming at it cynically. I honestly think that others are coming at it cynically. It's like, oh, I don't trust that they could change it into something that I would still like. I just want the same thing. Like, sure, they'll keep giving you the same thing, but what you want over time will be different. That's my point. My point's not.
I don't even know that people are feeling like they want the same thing. That's what they're saying. I think people are interpreting what you're saying as throw it all out and start over. Throw it all out and give us something totally different. And that's not what people want from it. They want something that's still Monster Hunter, but they want it to change. I think that's what you want too. I think the way you're describing it is throwing some folks off. I think. Which is okay. It's good to hear different descriptions and have different opinions, tweak your brain, and be like, okay, how do I feel about them throwing a bunch of stuff out and starting over?
Yeah,
how do I feel about it being like a lot different?
Here's the thing, I do want them to throw a bunch of stuff out and go back to the drawing board on a design philosophy that is, 20 years old, I guess.
But you have to realize that there are a lot of people who are in the middle who aren't just like, I want for you over and over and over. There are folks who say that.
Oh,
but there
absolutely.
Are a lot of folks who are just more like, I just want more Monster Hunter. I don't care what it looks like, or I just want to keep feeling like Monster Hunter. However, they start shifting it to be.
Yeah, my point is that they can make these drastic changes while still keeping it feeling like Monster Hunter. I'm not asking them to make Monster Hunter May Cry. I don't necessarily want them to throw everything out in that way. I still want it to feel like Monster Hunter. I still want it to be Monster Hunter. But, and, I'm not a game dev. I don't really know exactly what changes they would make, where the threshold is, and I guess for myself, I'm trying to find that threshold.
Well, that's fair.
But, this is not a conversation to be reductive about, I guess. This is not just like a my way or the highway. This is my opinion. And, you're entitled to your opinion. This is not even something to get into a fight about.
Sure, I think it's neat to hear different people describe what they're looking for like that. Like I said, there are people who want all kinds of different things for Monster Hunter, and they're all people who are deeply invested in it. The thing with that is I don't think it will, whatever they do, I don't think it will satisfy everybody in terms of those sorts of ideas. But I think it's interesting to hear those different perspectives, whether it's chuck out the whole damage formula or chuck out this or chuck out that, because it's neat to think about. It's neat to think about what would they do if they chucked out a lot, or if there wasn't Rathalos, or like whatever it is. I think it's neat to hear about that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to it all. I guess, pulling this one right off the top of the dome, if we consider something like Resident Evil 2 Original and Resident Evil 2 Remake, and bear in mind that obviously that's a very different genre, it is a game that did the same thing whilst capturing the feel, I think. But it did it differently. It did it in a way that felt fresh, new, and exciting. And my point is that I don't want the same thing. And I guess for me, personally, 3U, 4U, GU, Freedom Unite, they're all similar enough to me that I would like to see bigger leaps in change. But no, I'm not gonna sort of budge on that one, I guess.
That's okay. You are entitled to your opinion. I think it's one of the more different opinions in terms of change. You don't hear people just going, I want them to start over, I want them to throw it all out very often.
I guess, it's almost infinitely deep, right? Because obviously it comes down to the nature of people and how they feel about things. And I don't know. I think as it is to me right now, not from a perspective of gameplay, but from a perspective of, how much further can they take this formula? How much further can they take this formula? I think at some point it will become restrictive and a little bit stifling in what they can do, right? So there has to be...
I think that they'll manage to change things either gradually or abruptly over time in a way that prevents that. I trust them to do that after having had them do that for the past 15 plus years. That's a long freaking time. I think they'll be able to keep doing it.
Have they done it though? Do you think?
I mean, if every game was Monster Hunter 1000, you would not be playing this right now.
Obviously. There is, quality of life adjustments and stuff like that.
I mean,
I don't know.
Just
I can't...
The games and the things you can get up to them, the things you can get up to in these games have drastically broadened. You can play multiplayer in a way that you couldn't before. You can collect things in a way you couldn't before. The different kinds of ways to play these games have never been so numerous.
I guess that's my point. Are the bells and whistles enough? Can they keep building on this particular formula, as it were? Building on it, not, as it is.
If they do it in gradual steps or big jumps, I think they'll manage to.
Fair enough. I think that's a fair enough assessment.
Uchi says this bear off is quite large.
He's a large boy. Ooh, got a little flinch.
Nice.
But no, I'm not trying to come in here with a big ol' hot take fest where I'm upsetting people.
I think what maybe is making people a little bit back and forth is like, I think maybe some folks might be having a hard time telling whether you're trying to say throw it all out or whether you're not trying to say throw it all out.
Don't throw it all out, but do something different. Like, here's my, like...
But more different than different usually.
Yeah, like,
okay.
I think I disagree. I don't think that they're that different game to game. As someone who has played now Freedom Unite, 3 Ultimate, 4U, GU, I've played all of these things. And while they have... I just don't think that they feel as different as maybe you feel, I guess. And again, I don't want them to destroy the spirit of what makes Monhun Monhun. I don't want them to become Bayonetta May Cry.
I think they feel very different in totality. I think if you just go through and play them the way that you play all the games, it will feel similar to you because you're playing them the way you play all the games. I think that's pretty important, is to either try and experience every game in its totality so you can pick out all the different things that are different, or to try and vary up how you play the different games depending on what point of the series they're in, or just how you played last time, make it something different. I think that's pretty important. I think that that's part of why I was kind of frustrated with folks when folks were really like not into how much content Monster Hunter Rise had. That's something I had a hard time dealing with folks' opinions about, was just a lot of folks thought Rise was pretty lacking. It was just like, well, if you only do these things once, or if you don't feel like collecting different things, yeah, you're not gonna have much to do. But that's Monster Hunter. I feel like if you only play through a certain way, or if you only try and experience things from what you're expecting to experience, and not try and go in and experience as much as you can, I don't think you're going to get many of the differences. You're not going to have as different an experience across the games.
Alright, I guess to, let's say, devil's advocate again, couldn't I just play the same game and attempt to play it differently to experience it in its totality, but through a different lens of, say, a different weapon or an armorless challenge or what have you?
I think if you did things in their totality, if you did things pretty, like, holistically, like if you're going through and you're trying to experience most of the game all at once, I think you'd have a pretty tough time doing things in a way that felt dramatically different the next time you played through.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you just went through and played through one way, like you just played with one weapon, you just went through and you only were focused on doing super... You didn't collect much. You were just focused on getting through to the toughest fights and clearing those toughest fights. You were just focused on speedrunning. You were just focused on multiplayer. I think that you're gonna miss a lot of different things that make the games feel different from one another, because there's just a lot of different ways to enjoy each of these games. There's so many different things you can get up to in each of them, that I feel like just experiencing it with one focus, whether it's like it might not even be the same focus. You might go through different games with different focuses, but unless you see it all, no, I think that you're going to end up feeling like some things are more similar than they really are.
I think I can agree with that. I guess I'm of two minds about that. While I like that it allows for player expression, and you can play the game in whatever way you like, I think in a lot of ways, they could... I don't want to say do it better, but I think still there is a ceiling to that player expression. I think there still is a ceiling to that particular thought in that way, shape, or form. Because I don't think that that's to do with different games so much. I think that maybe some of those things you could do within the same game, rather than going from, like, oh, I speedran all of 3U, so now I'm going to go to 4U, and I'm going to play that one nice and slow. Obviously, your experience will be different there, but let's say you played exactly the same as you did across both of those games. Do you think that the differences would still be pronounced, or do you think maybe you're just experiencing it differently?
I think if you played through two games with the same sort of focus, you'd probably have a pretty similar experience across, especially adjacent entries. The further you jump in time, like if you jump from 5th to 1st gen, or if you jump from 1st to 3rd, and then 3rd to 5th, it's going to feel pretty different, even if you approach it with the same focus.
Okay, I think we're cutting to the sort of core there of, like, where we can define Monster Hunter's identity. Because you're right, there will be a lot more of a nuanced difference as you jump multiple generations at a time. But the gameplay... you know what? I think when it comes down to it, maybe the main issue I have is, like, we see a lot of the same monsters, and maybe I'm just sick of the village and quest acquiring layout. maybe that's just what I'm sick of. Maybe that's where I'm coming from. The combat is good. I still like the combat. I think maybe I've done a poor job of articulating that, and I think I've tried to.
It's a pretty big idea you're trying to express. I don't blame you for having a tough time.
The thing is, like, there is no correct or like very simple to nail down answer here. I think if you were to ask me like top couple of changes that I could make to Monster Hunter, it's honestly just make me have to travel somewhere, make me appreciate the hunt more when I get there. Make me sort of have to capture that magic. I don't want to change the identity of Monster Hunter, and I'm sorry if it came across that way, and I'm not trying to fight with your chat. And it really does come from a place of passion for a series that I don't want to find myself becoming uninvested in. And I'm genuinely I'm worried that it will end up that way if things keep on going. And I know that's just for me, like, I can't do the, I like things to be innovated upon, and I like to see, how people really care about their media properties. And I think if I was to pick one main thing that I don't like, I guess it's just the village, like not having the travel aspect, I suppose. And I think I can articulate that more, but like, I guess
I think we've talked a little bit about it in the past.
We have, yeah, episode 1 for sure, but I think largely, and sorry, I think we got off track of, how how we want the games to progress and all that jazz, but I think that this is important to it. Also, Joji, very good to see you. Miss you too, bud. Hope you're well.
That's fair. I mean, I appreciate getting to sit here and pick your brain, because I think it's an I mean, there is a nut of like a really dense, difficult topic stored up in your brain about how you feel about Monster Hunter and how it's I don't know how it's progressed as a series, and I think it's interesting to kind of tease it out a little bit in terms of like, I don't know, just get those ideas to come out and kind of articulate them in one way or another.
Yeah, and I think it's important because I'm not gonna pretend to be blind to it. I know that a lot of people disagree with me, and that's okay. That's okay. I want you to disagree with me, and I want you to have your own feelings on it, and I want you to think about it the way that you do, because this series means something different to both of us, me and you, the viewer. But the thing is, I'm always going to want something different from the series that even you do, Rist. And I think that's what is making this discussion so fun. Like, you feel differently to me, and I like that, because I don't want just an echo chamber. I enjoy that.
Nope. I think it can be tough when, especially, I think it can be tough for people, myself included, when you sit here and say something that I just can't conceptualize, or I can't agree with, in terms of like, there's not that much of a difference between Freemanite and like third generation or fourth generation. Dude, I feel like there is. Dude, longsword's totally different. The things I hold dear, they've changed them. They've given them freaking meters to manage. Like, there's loads of different things that have changed that matter to me, but that's not maybe something that's changed across like the entire of the series. It's just like little details that particularly stick out to me and matter to me so much. So it's like, I don't know. It can be tough sitting here and going, well, I don't think that. Well, it's just, it can be tough, but I think it's worth sticking out that experience and kind of going, well, this is a really different point of view from how I feel. I'm going to try and figure this out. Why does Fallison feel this way? Let's stick around. Let's figure it out. I don't know. It's interesting to me. Yeah, no. Like, of course, all of the weapons are pretty different, and I'd hope to cover how they've all evolved and changed in further episodes. But like, certainly there is that. But I suppose what I want to change is not something quite as tangible as like one very specific thing. And I think that's maybe what's the most frustrating part, because it's like, I don't necessarily know what I want, but I know that I want the series to live on and I want people to love it. And I think that even if they were to, make something with the changes that I guess I'd like to see, the people who are like new bad, old good, would still enjoy it. I don't want them to make a game that like everyone who's played this series forever is gonna hate. No, I don't want that. But I'm saying that there is a game out there that is not exactly, or how do I word this? That is not exactly what we've seen in terms of formula. I think
if we were to make a flowchart of Monster Hunter games, they would look fairly similar game to game. And you know what? That's probably true.
I think what you're looking for is like gradual iteration. Which
Yeah.
is the truth, which is the case for a lot of series. I think what I feel like, Falcon, I feel like the Monster Hunter team consistently has been given the time and the autonomy to make whatever game they really feel like making. Now, obviously, there have been some examples of things that haven't turned out perfectly. Let's say the Wii U port of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate maybe didn't turn out perfectly or exactly how they wanted it to. I don't know, maybe it didn't. But like, I think that honestly, if they wanted to make a game like that where they changed a lot of things out and drastically made something pretty different, I trust them to do a good job at it. But I also trust them to do a good job at continuing to make this formula feel good and fresh in little ways or big ways. I don't know. I really freaking trust them. And maybe some people don't. I don't trust everything about it. Like, it worries me that they keep putting in more microtransactions in games. I think that's kind of a bummer. But like,
I think that's its own episode.
I genuinely trust them to just put out a good game. I just do. They have across so many games. There's only been one Monster Hunter game that I've had a hard time enjoying legitimately so far, and I want to go back and experience more of it someday. I really trust them. And maybe that just makes me sound like a shill. I don't know, but like.
No, here's the thing. I'm in the exact same boat as you, and I think as the more time goes on, the more I love World, the more I think World might actually be getting close to being my favorite, because it's this big clunky mess of sometimes half-baked ideas, but it felt like in a lot of ways they were maybe getting towards that change that I was getting towards. Not there yet, but it felt like they were being experimental. It felt like they were being different, and I think I love it for that. It is like this sort of big bundle of ideas, and I guess here's how I explain with like a more visual metaphor. Monster Hunter is a very strong trunk of a tree, say, and trunk of like a tree, like a big great oak, the biggest oak you've ever seen, the most sturdy, beautiful oak ever.
Sure.
And I think things like, you know, we look at underwater combat. That's one branch. We have 4 Ultimate, which is like, it had some 60 FPS. Some cool cutscenes, and you know, is overall very, very solid. That's like another branch. And then you have World, which kind of feels like a small sapling next to it. And then you have Rise, which is sort of this interesting hyper teenager of a branch growing out of that sapling.
This freakish fungal branch that just had something crazy happen to it.
Yeah, I think that's largely how I'm beginning to feel about the series, because obviously
we're hunting this Rathian, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Obviously, World and, you know, Generations Ultimate are so different. And I think, you know, GU is its own branch. So I guess I'm just fascinated to see how they blend the two. Or maybe there needs to be another sapling. But they're all cut from the same tree. I feel like maybe that is the most articulate I can make it with that visual metaphor. And I hope that that sort of summarizes what I want into a better way. If not, you know, speak up.
What, me or other people?
You.
No, I think you did a good job of summarizing exactly what you're talking about there.
Sorry, it took me an hour to get there, but, you know, I feel like the deep, nuanced parts.
That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Working out really deep, tough ideas sometimes, and whether that's like having that conversation with yourself in your head, like a crazy person sitting there talking in the shower about like, well, if Rathalos is like this in this game, like, or whether it's talking about it with me or people in chat, like it's a process.
Yeah,
if you want to have a good idea of something you care about like that, it takes time.
Yeah, and you know what?
It's rare that you'll just wake up one morning and go, oh, I don't want Rathalos in the game anymore. Like it's I don't know. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, I think I have a bad time of it too, because I really do, like, you know, if they put Rathalos in the next game, which they inevitably are gonna, I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm gonna fight Rathalos, and I'm gonna enjoy it the same way I always have. I just think if they...
I hope out of spite you have to come back to all of us after the next game and be like, you know guys, I actually really do like MH6 Rathalos.
But I do like Rathalos. That's the thing. I'm just sick of him. Imagine, do you eat... Okay, do you eat, like, oats with nothing on them every single morning for breakfast? Have you done that for 5 games?
I'm a really bad person to ask this. I genuinely do eat almost the same thing for long periods of time.
Speaking of that, actually, I made some eggs this morning, and I was like,
Yeah.
I forgot to salt them, and then I laughed to myself because I was like, yeah, I could crush up some goldfish crackers. Hell yeah.
Did you though?
I did. No, I don't. They would cost $70 to get them imported from the US. I looked after the last episode because I wanted to, like, can I remake eggs a la Ristretto?
Shoot. I did not bring an antidote. I'll probably be okay.
You're on your own. I'm sorry. But yeah,
It's
like,
okay.
maybe I just want something different for breakfast. Right. Right.
I think you could have said that at the beginning and people would have got it.
I swear to God, I said something to that effect, but no offense, you beautiful people. The the purse clutching started a little early for me to, you know, run damage control on my absolutely shocking revelation, put the ambulance outside, that maybe I just don't like Rathalos that much anymore.
I liked our conversation.
I liked it too. I think that's... I think that... Alright. Let me posit this question though. How boring would a podcast of two dudes just agreeing with each other for 4 to 5 hours be?
You know, I bet there are live casts out there like that, Val. I don't know of any in particular that I'm thinking of, but I bet there are.
Yeah, well, that's not us, buddy. You and I, and also the chat along for the ride. We're handsome boys, wearing sunglasses, fighting Rathians, and after this hunt, moving on to the next segment,
Yeah,
in which we can watch
are.
the Tokyo Game Show best of, because I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yeah. Okay, well that brings up an intense discussion portion of, like, that's honestly not what we had planned for that part of the cast, and that's fine. That's honestly, like, part of what I like about doing this with you, Fallison, is that you never really know what we're gonna get up to so far. Like, it's proof, like, we're not doing a cast, at least not right now, or like every part of it goes exactly to plan, and we have our talking points laid out, and just like, I think that's just not what this is at the moment, and I'm okay with it. I think I'm having a good time. So that was like a discussion that branched off into something totally different, and it was interesting to kind of tease those different thoughts and ideas out of you, and have you describe it different ways.
Well, you know, herein lies the point. Maybe I don't want to follow the podcast formula. Maybe I don't think it has a strong enough trunk, and maybe I want to be a sapling next to that trunk of the podcast formula.
Podcast or podcasts in general?
You know, Rist, I'm going to be real with you. I've never listened to a podcast in my life. I don't know how they go. I have never in my entire life, from start to finish, listened to a podcast. You know what I listen to? I listen to people talking for a couple of hours with no real structure.
Gosh, I was misled. You lied on your resume. Oh God.
I think I offered you the job, sir. But yeah,
I want to share something with chat. This is fun. I want to share something with chat.
yeah, go on.
Fallison and I were putting together some notes and some talking points for our cast recently, and we were using Google Docs, right? So I shared a Google document with Fallison, and I named it like show notes with Fal, and Fal was like, I really like this like show notes site. It's really cool. And I was like, no, that's just like show notes are just for a podcast. This is just a Google Doc. I think that was like foreshadowing for like, just about that you've not watched the podcast.
Well, you know,
I don't know. This is a related story.
Here's the thing. I'm happy with how it's going so far. I think everyone else is unhappy with what is being said, which means it's making for a good thing to watch. No, there's no betrayal. There's no betrayal. I'm just a loose cannon renegade cop who doesn't play by the rules.
I think that's okay. I think it's okay to have one really crazy person and one person who's a little more, how would you describe me? Boring? I don't know.
Boring? I wouldn't say boring. I would say cool, calm, and collected, wearing a nice hat.
Wearing a nice hat. Thank you. It's the only one I own, so it's good. It's nice.
Are you actually wearing a hat? Oh, it must be the beanie. The beanie.
I do have more than one beanie.
The Goobellini. But yeah.
Nox says I'm the straight man. You would be correct, Nox.
Yeah, well, Nox is cute.
Nox is pretty cute.
I'm just joking, Hot Pocket. I don't think anyone's genuinely unhappy. I don't think anyone here is... By the way, I'm at red sharpness and didn't take a whetstone, so I'm kind of just like smacking it, hoping that it does. I would love
We
a
have two
whetstone.
monsters to hunt.
I would love
Let's probably... Do you have pickaxes with you? Should I even ask?
I got 3 pickaxes, thank you.
Okay, let's go get some whetstones, buddy. Follow me.
I have plenty. I just forgot to bring them.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have enough with you for 2 monsters.
I like the way you make your points. But yeah. Discussion you disagree with is the mother of learning something about yourself you didn't.
Come here.
I'm coming. I'm just eating some well-done steak.
Okay.
I'm just eating some well-done steak.
Okay, Kurapeko is here. I'm gonna repaint Pollen. There are whetstones over here. Come get
I'll paint Pollen. There we go.
Just falls on top of the whetstones.
Well, hey,
He's
you
a
gotta
wicked cat.
get him with style.
Okay. Well, that was a pretty fun conversation, guys. I had a good time.
I had a good time. I agree. It had like the correct level of spice for me. I got some.
It couldn't have been dull. We'll say that. We tackled 0 topics we had arranged. No, we did tackle topics that we had arranged. A topic we had arranged. It just kind of evolved into a different discussion. Oh, Rathian came back.
As
Here, hang on.
all.
Let's do elite gamer trick, Fallison.
Drop an egg on her.
Not just if you hold the egg, she'll come back. Wait, where's the egg?
I did
Okay,
know
find
what we were doing.
Yep. She'll come back.
My egg now.
This is the podcast y'all have tuned into.
We're just a couple of egg gamers.
A couple of bad eggs.
All right.
Podcastant. I mean, like, what would you expect from an unnamed podcast, dude? I guess you would expect one of the people who have never watched a podcast or listened to a podcast.
All right. Name of the podcast: Thanos snapped Rathalos.
No, please don't make a fucking Marvel reference. No.
Oh, all right. Here's one thing we can agree on: Marvel movie bad.
Yep. I don't want to talk about that tonight, but I think I could like mumble some agreement at you.
Fair.
I don't need to make chat angry again.
All right. I guess my opinion is like, if you get upset about how we feel about certain things, then I'm sorry. You're doomed to lead an angry life. Anyway, I'm excited to watch TGS after this. I did not
Me too.
watch it as it happened. Actually, I watched
me
some
neither.
of the Tokyo Game Show live presentations. Uchi and I watched one together. It was the Idolmaster one for 45 minutes. And if you don't know what Idolmaster is,
Nope.
it is a
I
Japanese.
don't know how you freaking hit that Rathian.
Because I'm a lord. That's how. So Idolmaster is a Japanese management / rhythm game where do you know what an idol is?
Like a singer?
Yeah, they're like all baby metal. They're like a metal idol.
Sure.
There you go. That's
Sure.
like
Okay, got it.
yeah. So you manage them in this way, and watched an hour-long presentation on that. That was pretty sick. My mod and close friend Pythonicus was really excited to see they have an Ace Combat costume coming to Idolmaster. There's a girl who's dressed up like a plane. It's pretty good.
When is the Bondboro armor coming?
I like the way. You know what? Bondboro armor. Bondboro was sick. He needed a little more love.
I wasn't memeing on him. I think that's a fun. I'm picturing an idol strutting out in like Bondboro armor, and it makes me smile. So
That is a nice thought. But yeah, Tokyo Game Show is the best thing every year because Western audiences haven't quite grasped that they never show anything there of like any real substance. So largely it's just a lot of people upset that we didn't find out who the new character for Guilty Gear is or something.
I have some pretty fond memories of Tokyo Game Show last year when Rise first got announced. I was on a trip. I was taking a trip to visit my then girlfriend, now wife, at college. I was living long distance from her. It was nice to get to go visit her. And every morning I was there with her. I woke up very early in the morning to watch Japanese press conferences. It was a good time. Like legitimately, it was a very fond memory of mine waking up before anybody else was up to watch Tokyo Game Show.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like I love event season. I love E3. It's always so even if it's disappointing, if you watch it with some friends on Discord, it's like the most entertaining disappointment you've ever had. Like it's fantastic. I love event season. Just seeing video games and hanging out with friends. It's fantastic.
Bouncing in green.
I am getting smacked about.
I don't know why I'm bouncing in green. What's happening to me? I guess maybe the bear. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused.
Look, there's a lot of moving parts to this, I think. But yeah, I've always followed the philosophy of, oh, I'm going to die. Well, that too, but I've always followed the philosophy of like, every second E3 is bad. And I
think they're all bad. I think all E3 is bad.
Like, it's like every second year they have games, and then like the following year they have nothing to show. So it's always super terrible the next year. I think
they're all bad.
We've gotten 2 bad ones in a row because of the COVID year. And that's right, I'm dating this podcast by mentioning the Covey. But
demonetized on YouTube, foul. Our scheme ruined.
Can you really not say it?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think there are certain channels where you can't. Yeah, they will demonetize your video just for saying the word.
Well, they probably won't be able to pick up my awful accent saying it one time. Anyway, like skating right past that one so that we don't get in trouble from our, I assume, very financially lucrative podcast in which no one's gonna toss their controller in the bin. And, you know, it's a podcast like you've never heard before because I haven't either. Because if I listen to this will be the first podcast I've ever heard. Good stuff. But yeah, event season is fantastic.
Yeah, I guess I have fond memories from last year. This year, I didn't really, I guess, leading up to our next part of the podcast, I didn't actually get to watch Tokyo Game Show. Rathian is limping. I didn't actually get to watch Tokyo Game Show. It was happening a couple mornings after the Monster Hunter Orchestra concert. I had taken a morning off explicitly to watch the Monster Hunter Orchestra concert. And I couldn't take another one off to watch Tokyo Game Show. We also, when I took the day off, I didn't know that Rise Sunbreak was already going to be announced. So I didn't take a day off for it. But it was happening basically right as I got to work. And so I clocked in, and I took out my phone, and I was like walking around kind of trying to look busy. I work at a cafe, so it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I could still like do some things like watch for customers and like make a drink or two at the cafe, but like I was definitely like walking around doing like kind of menial tasks, but also keeping my phone within like eye shot so I could kind of watch out the corner of my eye. We're about to watch a couple of moments from Tokyo Game Show, specifically the Monster Hunter part of Tokyo Game Show. And when we do, we'll get to some points where there were a couple of points where like I was wearing a mask at work because I mean there's a pandemic going on, like you were just referencing.
Yes. And
behind my mask, I was like popping off, and I was having a good time. So I don't know. It was a goofy way to experience some of those announcements. And I'm looking forward to actually like sitting down and watching them with you here in a moment.
It should be good.
That rat.
Should be good.
Do you need any healing? I have healing for you. If you need.
No, we're fine.
Are you sure?
I mean, we're fine. Maybe I'm not in the strictest sense.
Okay, would you like some potions? I've got plenty.
Yeah, why not? I'll take a couple. Okay, I just want you to know, I'm CEO of having a good time right now. I don't fear this Rathian. He doesn't scare me. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. Remove Rathalos, but keep Rathian. He's pretty good. I'll stop poking that particular bear.
We're gonna have to make this a recurring segment of like Foul's do it or dump it list of just like all the good monsters versus the bad monsters.
All of the monsters are good, just only for a couple of games. That's my point.
Except for Rathian, she's pretty okay.
Rathian, yeah, she's always good. She's my queen, my absolute best girl.
All right.
I hate that Rathian is one of my favorite monsters. They just got it so right with the with a pink Rathian.
Like, I mean, like, she's ostensibly like the only good fight in first gen, right?
Monsters do have an expiry date, and so do you if you ever question me again, Uchi. No, I'm not, Misty. How are you, buddy?
Man, the threat issuing podcast. That's a name.
Well, that's kind of how a lot of my streams go anyway. Maybe I should branch into something different where I can't threaten people as easily.
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty lucrative for some streamers.
You know what? You got a point there. I was in charge of people and I got to threaten them all the time. In a similar fashion to how I threaten Uchi right now.
I don't know if I ever threatened anybody when I was in management.
Someone said they think I should go into hot tub streams. I don't think that's a good look for me. I think I've got more hair on my chest.
Both of us, though.
Oh, I like the way you think, but I think I've got more hair on my chest than some of you might anticipate.
You probably have more hair on your chest than me.
I would say so.
Be awkward.
I would say so.
It'd be awkward.
Not to All right. I'll derail.
Can we green screen 2 cross-continental hot tubs together?
I
That would be a
think
pretty
I
cool
think we
production.
could. It would be really hard because I have a very small house. But
You only need half a hot tub. It's okay.
yes.
The
Remind
other half's
me
gonna be up.
remind me to mention this at the end of the stream because I don't want to derail by talking about Australian hot tub lore, but I just want you to know that that's a thing and you're going to want to hear about it.
Okay.
Alright, so
there's specific to my state hot tub air quotes lore as well that you may want to hear about. So we can come back to this. We can cycle back
sorry.
to it.
I didn't mean to say lore like Lore, lore as in LAW.
Oh, law. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
accent.
law.
Got me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, get
I
out.
don't know if there are laws around hot tubs here.
But yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
I lost. Oh, there's the Rathian.
Anyway, I let the record show that in my life, to get it tattooed, I did have to shave my chest. That was something I had to do. Excuse you? I just jumped down into that fireball. It hit me before I even hit the ground.
He got me too, but I had a chance to try and iframe through it like a sucker, and I stepped back. I want this Rathian to die. We maybe shouldn't have taken on 2 monsters.
I like the way you think.
Podcast beach episode 1. Dude, what do you think this is? There's water everywhere. The beach? It's right here.
Yeah, water everywhere.
Air
That's what
Moga.
I'm doing. That'll cost you extra, Misty. Oh, she's dead.
Okay,
Let's go.
Yep, she's dead. Let's get that Pekko. It's your turn, buddy. He's like, oh shoot, he's about to get out of here.
Sentient hunting horn, huh? I'm gonna show these hunting horn mains what I think of their weapon. Oh, come back. Oh, I thought I hit you with that, and I was gonna be like, damn, I'm suffering from some Three Stooges-ism here. You know what?
No, I backed off. I saw it coming that time.
Kurapeko a good egg. I like this guy. It's a good
Would you
fella.
be okay with this guy coming back, or is he getting dumped out too?
Well, what other game's he in?
Free ultimate, portable third, try.
Yeah, all the same game.
Yeah, but so is this guy not getting dumped out? Is this guy someone who you'd like to see come back?
Yep. I would like to see him come back. Yeah.
Would you rather see him come back or a new monster?
Did I really... new monster, because I can always play 3U again.
Fair.
Did it really sound like I was just like, toss the baby out with the bathwater, toss out Rathalos, Asterix, everyone? I was just saying
Oh,
I'm just saying he's been in
did
every
say-
game. He's
You
been in
did
every
say
game.
Rathalos, but then you also said like you want very large changes in terms of like the game to game, more so than just like the monster roster. So it sounded the fair bit like you wanted lots of changes, and like I just don't want monster.
Yes. I want there to be distinction. But yeah, Pekko's sick. I would be happy if Pekko came back, but he is not equipped to deal with you and Rise. Rework Element Camp? You know, Nox, I knew that you and I would agree on something. Like, why does element damage have to be so... We're gonna talk about damage scaling one day. But why does element damage have to be... You know, element damage?
We'll have to invite on a math buff, because I'm so bad at that side of the series. Like, I understand some of the concepts, like I understand it conceptually.
That-
I have never calculated
That should
a,
be enough to tell you that there is a problem.
No, it just means I suck at math. It really does.
Wrist. Michael.
Yeah, what's up?
If you have to invite a math buff to explain a video game,
That's cool. I like that there are Monster Hunter math buffs. I mean, for the most part.
yeah, I like it too. I'm thrilled that they exist. But also, should they have to?
That's bigger than I want to get into. We can have the Monster Hunter math episode some other time.
All right. I'm bad at math, and I started studying it more after high school to fix that glaring flaw in my knowledge. So, you know, we can all laugh at Fallison's inability to do basic arithmetic.
I can do maybe basic stuff, but I would not call the Monster Hunter damage formula basic. Especially once you start getting to like end game sets and all the different modifiers and stuff you have to put on there. It's pretty decently complex.
You know what?
It at least requires looking it up.
I think in a lot of ways it's actually not too bad. I just think Element maybe needs a little love.
I think that a lot of folks share that opinion, yeah.
Someone asked, you know what? I agree with Nox. And they kind of do. In Rise, they kind of do. Just not on your weapons.
Hello, Net Potato. Yeah, we do multiplayer nights every once in a while. I think Fallison does multiplayer nights maybe even more often than I do. But right now we're doing a podcast, so Fallison and I are talking the talk. We are chewing some good thoughts out. I don't know if that's a good term.
How are you doing, you absolute queen? You've come in while we're doing a podcast, so I might not be as talkative, but can you...
This is a long quest.
Message me on Discord, and
means everybody will be
let's
ready
have
for a, nice break,
a good chat
nice
soon. Yeah, dude?
Sit down to watch
I miss
Tokyo
you.
Game Show bits.
I love you. I hope you're doing well. We're having a good time. I don't know.
You okay
I like the way Monster Hunter math is actually calculated. I think it's
saying maybe it shouldn't exist.
I'm saying that you shouldn't need a math buff, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that
I think I would just consider myself quite poor at math.
I'm saying it might be a little bit complex. Maybe just a scotch. But also, you're right, it's not that bad. I'm torn. I'm torn between saying things that I think are funny and actually telling you what I think.
I think both are good.
Yep.
If you do enough of both, people can't tell which is which.
You know, I think that might be a that's a recurring problem I've had throughout my entire life. It works even better in podcast form, streamed to a live audience who might not know me so well. I'm a genius. How's Wes? How are you? How's the job? I like being here. I like having you here. This is great. It's great stuff.
Yeah, but like Gustafron, how do you know what combination of things to like? How do you know which multiplier gets added at which point? How do you suss that out? Where's the guide? Ryoza doesn't show up every year and a half to give me a freaking new math textbook about the latest damage formula. I know it doesn't change that much, but like for somebody who hasn't learned the damage formula, how do you know when crits are added? How do I know when sharpness is added? Where's the weapon mod go? I don't know. Like, how do you learn that?
Honestly, just attack power, it does that much damage. Elemental attack power, it does that much damage. Easy. Crit, flat 25% buff. I can hear the scrunching of fists in my ear.
Me?
No. It's a gag. It's a little joke.
That was a good quest.
I think it was good. I think it was
we
good.
both ran out of whetstones. We ran out of healing.
No, I got 4 whetstones.
I'm out.
Oh, I have a mini whetstone as well, which probably doesn't bode well for me.
I think at one point I gave you whetstones, and I did not give you a mini whetstone. So that means you had it when you said you didn't.
I think when I died, I picked them up from the camp.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Look, I'm here to talk, not to play Monster Hunter. I'm the biggest fan of your slightly disapproving. It's actually my favorite thing. Val and AOL?
It's okay though. It's okay that you're not here to play Monster Hunter.
No,
we're not really. If we were here to just play Monster Hunter, we would not be doing a podcast. We would just be like doing a turns room or something.
Yeah. Which we maybe should do at some point. However, we're now moving on to the next cool guy segment, Funky Fresh with Sunglasses On. The TGS review. Or, I guess, you know, look at. The kids, they love reaction style content.
I got 2 Wrath Marrows from that quest. And 10,000 Zen.
Promise to do.
I think it was 10,000. I'm that bad at math, honestly. I'll look at a number and I'll have to stop and think about if it was like 1,000 or 10,000. It takes me a second. We are indeed going to be React Bros, Uchi. Here, let me get this up.
You said it now. The Fine Bros are actually kicking my door in as we speak. How could you? How could you do this to me?
So what are we doing here, Fallison? What are we going to be watching?
We're going to be watching the Tokyo Game Show Monster Hunter Special. It's actually coffee, mister. I'm going to be swapping over to a different screen. I assume you will be doing the same thing.
I need to move the dock to another view. Hang on. 1 sec.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'll be ready in a moment.
Cough it up.
Okay, let me make sure this actually looks good.
I always open Paint so I don't show how many notepads I have on my
Oh no. 26 says that I am their favorite reaction streamer. I think that is unfortunate.
26?
OBS, you're drunk. That's the wrong... OBS is always drunk. It always picks the wrong Firefox window. Have you seen that? Every time you have like 2 Firefox windows, it always picks the wrong one.
I have a feeling that I'm going to say, oh, I use Chrome, and then you're going to say, Hey,
I mean,
idiot.
okay, put in
What is-
Chrome then. You always, if you have two Chrome windows, OBS probably always picks the wrong one.
Oh,
It is not a problem specific to Firefox.
I just display capture that one.
Oh, you just go full screen. Okay.
Yeah.
I like window capture.
I like the way I like the cut of your jib. I think what you do is probably a little bit more sensitive.
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you the advantages or not. Okay. We have some time codes here. We have 3 parts of the show that both of us would like to watch because the show itself is quite long. It's 48 minutes long. We've picked out, I think, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes of it to watch and then talk over together. A little bit will be more watching, a little bit will be more talking. It will be discussion that is not based around how much of Monster Hunter we wish to throw out or change or, I don't know.
Yeah. We're not looking to the future
cross-content
now. We're
hotlinks.
looking, we're appreciating what we have in front of us, which is probably
Okay.
a very awkward presentation.
And importantly, this is the first time both of us have actually sat down to watch this. I meant to after they broadcast this, but I never got to. So, all right, Falcon, are you ready? Do you have your video queued up?
Peggy 18, baby, let's go.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and click. Let's watch. Let me go ahead and make sure this is the right volume. It should be. Like I said, I'm confident in my volume balancing. I wish I'd gotten to watch this live. What are we doing here? Hopefully everyone's close to 18.
I hope so.
Some of these people were the same folks who were at the Monster Hunter Orchestra concert. Or like this woman, I'm not sure who she is exactly because I guess
She's
her name
Osami.
is Osami. There you go. But I don't know what her role is. I think she maybe just said it. But she was both here and at the orchestra concert. The orchestra concert was pretty fun. I was really grateful that they gave us the chance to watch those 2 years in a row.
I gotta start calling this expansion the right thing.
Earlier, Fal and I were off stream, and he was like, "Yeah, what was it? What'd you call it? Sunrise?" No,
I called
you
it daybreak. I've called it many things. Daywalker, all that jazz.
Do you like it when they put the people into the locales like this? I really like this. I think it's cute.
I think it's pretty good. Although Ichinose, he kind of has a head that looks like it'd be fun to slap the top of.
I don't know what to say to that. I like him. I think he looks nice.
I agree.
I don't know. I like the cuteness in which they approach these sorts of conferences. Like they could totally just do like a talking head and like a nebulous background, but no, they put him in freaking Kimura.
Yeah, no.
Right, I haven't actually watched these collab trailers, so let's see what this is.
This is.
I heard about what this was, but I haven't actually watched this trailer.
It's Ghosts and Goblins. That's. Is there a new Ghosts and Goblins? Is that what this is?
Oh, is there a new Ghosts and Goblins?
Yeah, Resurrection.
Yeah.
That's the color. It's such a weird collab because, I'm sure there's some Ghosts and Goblins like real fans out there, but it just strikes me as a bit of a peculiar collab. Like that looks so weird. I think this guy's name is Arthur. Him with the hammer. He looks peculiar.
They're both Capcom. Well, yeah, they're both Capcom IP, of course. So it makes sense from that perspective.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It's just.
I like these collaborations. I mean, do you feel like you would have liked it better if they'd tried to get out there and get like Nintendo collaborate? I mean, I guess that's probably trickier since they're bringing this game to multiple platforms. But would you have liked it better if they'd gone out? And maybe it's not even like specific to the platform they're on. But would you have appreciated if they'd gone out and worked with other series that might have nothing to do with the platform that they're on, just other series that aren't from Capcom?
Oh, like largely how I feel about the collaborative content is just like it doesn't even register. It is not something that I would ever be so ungrateful as to complain about. It's like it's just a nice little thing that they're putting in. Doesn't matter to me. I liked the DMC one. I really liked the Final Fantasy 14 one in World, and that was before I even played the game. I like Behemoth. I'm a Behemoth enjoyer.
I've never fought one, so I don't have an opinion.
Oh, when the new PC comes, let's get it.
I think it might be time soon for me to revisit that game. We'll see when though.
Yeah,
I have a lot to do in 3 Ultimate still.
But yeah, I think that was a great collab, and I think all of the collabs in World were cool. And the Amaterasu one is here. That's here is really cool. I think it's like very odd to see What's the dog's name from Mega Man? Mega Man dog.
Rush.
Rush, that's it. I think he's like, he's kind of jarring to see, but
Yo, what is that bomb bag he had? I hadn't seen that before. What is that? Did you see that?
No,
Okay, go back. Hang on.
rewind a
Go
little.
back to like 341. Go back to 341-ish. Yo.
Oh, wait, 341-ish. Ish.
Okay. Is that three? Okay, do we need to go back and sync up? I don't think we really need to, do we?
No, I meant 351. I didn't say
57. Okay, go back to 340. We'll start from there. Hang on.
What bum bag do you when you say bum bag, do you mean like a
Bomb baggy.
I thought you said bum bag, which is like what you American, we call that here what you guys call a fanny pack.
All right, are you
Oh, I
at
was confused.
340?
Yes, there's a man holding
Okay.
a knife.
3, 2, 1. All right.
Yeah, no, the
I'm hyped
bum.
about the bum baggy helm. It's worth seeing 3 times. You know what? Look at that. Oh man, that's gonna be part of a fashion set.
You have to pay for it with legal tender.
Dude, I'm a whale. They've got me hook, line, and sinker. I buy every DLC.
Sonic
bad.
the Hedgehog. They can't keep getting away with it. They keep doing Sonic collabs, and like
I saw this well after every other part of this presentation. Like I saw this later on that day and just went, no! So I dislike Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't want that thing in my game. I don't want that in Monster Hunter. It makes me uncomfortable.
Alright, I've got some contentious opinions on Monster Hunter. Here's like a very cut and dry one. There has never been a good Sonic game. Never ever. They're all bad.
Wait, you said opinions about Monster Hunter.
No, I've got some contentious opinions about Monster Hunter for sure. You can't disagree with me. Sonic is trash. It's never been as good as Mario.
I don't want to talk about Sonic on the podcast, but I mean, chat knows that I feel similarly.
Okay, good. Well, then we don't need to discuss it because we're both objectively correct, and we can just move on.
I would not say that.
Well, you'd be wrong.
I just don't like Sonic.
That's fine.
That's all.
I'm not going to be so
Look, they're in the
charitable.
room now. Oh, Fallison, what is your favorite figure behind them?
I like the Rumor. They're pretty nice. Oh, the
What?
Tetranodon. The owl thing in the middle to the right.
Oh, the Kahoot.
Yeah, but it's a Daruma Kahoot.
Wait,
And-
what's a Daruma?
A Daruma is a Japanese wishing doll.
Oh, I didn't. Me uncultured. I didn't know that.
But I also like Tetranodon. You know, Tetranodon, he's kind of lit. Kids would say.
Oh, we passed the point where we're supposed to watch. Okay.
Oh yeah, I guess so. What was
We
that?
had timestamps set aside and everything. All right, that was the portion we wanted to watch. We wanted to watch some unveiled collaborations. We talked a little bit. Like, are you gonna go back and are you gonna? Fal and I were before the podcast. We're like, we're setting up these timestamps. We could do this on stream, but no, that'd be jank. We wouldn't do that. We had the timestamps, baby. We're gonna be smooth. No, not smooth.
Still still smooth.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go back and play any of those collabs, Fallison? I know you're kind of done with Rise for the time being.
Oh no, I'm raring to go on Rise. I'm ready to go back to Rise. I'm a Rise enjoyer.
Are you gonna be playing the demo this week? Maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. But are you gonna be playing the demo this week?
Like, let me preface this by saying I do not play demos and I do not watch trailers typically. I find that they spoil
We're watching a trailer.
Yeah, I know that it's a special event season is a special exception. All right.
Well, I feel very honored then.
Yeah. Freaking everyone's trying to catch me out. This is a trailer. Yeah, I know, buddy. I didn't think it was a vending machine. Cue the laugh track up, lads. What was the next timestamp?
Good one. The next timestamp we start at 26:05.
26:05. Gotcha.
I'm laughing. I think that's good. Okay. So next we're gonna watch what they said about the actual information they have for us about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Okay, are you ready, Mr. Fowl?
Yes, I am.
26:05.
I'm
Okay,
26:06.
1.
さてここからは先日発表したばかりのモンスターハンターライズサンブレイクの最新情報をお届けしてまいります。辻本さん、よろしくお願いします。
Like I don't know if this is a weird thing to say. I like how Japanese sounds.
Oh, it's a very. I've got a lot of thoughts on this. Remind me about it.
I don't feel like I want to speak on it that much, just because I don't know. I don't want to overgeneralize.
I've got
everything, but I just like how it sounds when these people speak Japanese.
Yes, I only have like one or two thoughts. Don't worry. All right, they do look really out of place here. Like
maybe this isn't. Well, they couldn't. They don't have that many options so far. They've only released like 3 screenshots. They can't really make them look cute, can they? Unless they're one of the. I guess they could have released a cute screenshot. Okay. So have you seen any of these details here that they're talking about?
no, I have not.
I want to know what the stands are that they didn't green screen out in the middle. Ichino says, I am grateful to you for making that game.
He seems like a chipper fella.
I think so too. I like him. I think some people hold a grudge against him. About Monster Hunter Rise.
They shouldn't do that. What are these stands? You got a point.
No. Maybe mic stands or something. Alright, here's the trailer. Have you seen this trailer?
I think I like half asleep watched it one. I like Nosferatu Dragon. He seems pretty cool.
Do you know his name yet?
No.
Okay, that's fine. We'll get a live reaction from you about his name. I like this trailer. What did you think of this thing's design when you first saw it?
I'm like, I don't know. I'm a big sucker for like gothic stuff. Malzeno. Interesting.
I don't know if it's Malzeno or Malzeno.
It's another Tigrex. Doesn't matter. Say it how it. Yeah, no, he seems.
Go ahead.
He seems pretty cool. I don't know. Like, I can never be excited by these trailers because it's like, you know, I didn't get excited for World until like Iceborne until it was in my hands, and I admittedly indulged. I watched the Sword and Shield trailer, and man, that had me hyped over the moon. It looked so sick.
Is this Pokemon Sword and Shield or?
No. I'm not. The Sword and Shield changes trailer that they released for Iceborne.
Got it.
But yeah, Malzeno, he seems pretty cool.
I think I'm with a few others where I think I was a little bit mixed on his design when I first saw like this initial shot when it just shows like the top of his face. I think the more I see the whole of his design with like the weird like fur on his chest and like his super weird like scorpion tail, I'm more into it the more I see it.
I think it's
the thing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's like so goofy that they gave him like the Dracula Castlevania-esque like cravat, like as the fur on his chest. I think it's a bit of a slam dunk of a design. It's like deceptively simple with a lot of nuance. I think that's really cool. I think
his mask, his skull is gonna make an amazing hat.
Yeah, I hope that they give a we're going to a different village. I hope that they give him the respect he deserves, and he deserves the respect. He's a respect deserved.
Yep. They haven't named this new locale, but they said this is one of the new locales, and they did have an S there, so there will be more than one, which is nice. I would expect more than one, but I mean, like, still, it's nice to hear it.
Ooh,
He looks really cool. Look at this render. Look at his tail.
His tail does look really cool.
Look at his claws.
He looks different to like how I imagined that render.
Ashen Waste. No, Waste has already been used. Ashen.
I don't know. I'm gonna call.
Here you go.
Oh yeah, this is why for like one day all of you nerds were like, crabs. It's crab time. Crab time. Crab time.
I freaking love this thing. It's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited about that.
I'm glad you're excited.
Look at him!
There's just alright. I got a like soft spot for the crabs.
This is like the opposite of what we were talking about earlier, where you're like, who gets excited about the same monster over and over again? I want to see what this thing feels like with such a big jump from the last time we saw it.
Alright, Here's my contention. The crabs are like huge jerks, but they have such a goofy charm that I could never bring myself to not like them.
For me, it's that, or like they are such absolute jerks to fight. Like they really both are. But I don't know. I think it is they are goofy. And then on top of that, I feel like when you get used to moving around, they're totally like unique movement in terms of how they move back and forth and how they attack. It feels so good.
Yes.
It feels so good to bully them once you get used to it.
I have a soft spot for Plum Daimyo, just because of his weird movement. However, it does always annoy me when they just walk to the left and like their whack-ass hitbox, they swing it out and it's like you get knocked down, and it's not the big knockdown, it's the little one, but they do it 4 times consecutively and it's like, can you please no more?
I like the crabs a lot. I'm that's honest to God, Fallison, that is just about the most exciting monster they could have revealed for me personally. I love Siennatar so much.
That's fantastic. What?
I'm really happy about it.
High-res textures. Woohoo!
This is the PC trailer right now.
Yeah.
Now you were talking with me a little bit before the show, and you were saying that you're gonna play some Rise on PC, but you're not like overly hyped about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like so think of it like this. 6 months into the Rise's PC life cycle, one of my friends is going to say, oh, I've got it on PC, and also my Switch got left in a house fire when I was like going to rescue an old lady or something. So can you play this game with me? I'm like, yeah, I'll buy Rise again. Why not? That's largely how I feel. Past that, I'm like, I'm neither here nor there on it. Like, I'm glad that it's becoming more accessible to those who were holding out for it. But for me personally, wait a minute, what was that? Did the insect glaive just do something different there?
It has a guard point.
Did it always?
It's part of the rush forward switch skill. That is the end of where we're going to be watching right now, if you want to go ahead and give it a pause for the next timestamp.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a switch skill where you charge forwards, and if you get hit during the charge forwards, you guard point off of whatever attack you run into. It's interesting. It's not like I feel like the move, the lunge forward that is tied to it is like kind of restrictive enough in movement and kind of like weird in terms of spacing that I don't use it. I think it's more useful to keep the default move, like jump in lunge with insect glaive, but it's a cool move. You should try it out.
Yeah, I definitely will. Glaive is like one of the weapons I'm the most inexperienced with. But I am definitely starting to see what everyone's saying when they're like, oh, everything has a counter. I get like, I sometimes try and make a case like, no, not everything. Only the things that really make sense. Longsword, it makes sense. EI slash. But, maybe insect glaives again a little bit harder to... to justify.
All right, fellas, we have a treat here. Neither of us have watched this. Go ahead and jump to 15:16 for me.
Got it.
We have a treat here. Neither Phallus nor I have watched this musical segment, and so we figured that we're going to be talking about some music after this part of the show. We have a little bit of a music segment Phallus and I have planned here, and so to transition to that and to kind of just give us a chance to talk about some of this Rise Sunbreak stuff, we are going to go ahead and listen to the music portion of TGS. We didn't get a chance to listen to this, or at least I didn't, so I'm looking forward to listening to it in the background while I talk with Fal here.
Yeah, let's give it a look.
So this is the hub theme from Rise. I like it.
Yeah, no, sorry, you go.
I think it was Fallison who was talking earlier. No, Fallison. I think it was Parsec Mac who was talking earlier today about comparing the vocalists from this to the orchestra concert. They watched the orchestra concert. The vocalists in this segment sound a lot closer to the game than the ones that were there performing live with the orchestra. And I think that might just be, these honestly could be closer to the actual performers of the game versus, I don't know, having a live orchestra. I think they may have brought out like just live vocal performers instead.
Yeah, it does sound nice. I guess that's do you spend a lot of time watching live performances of music?
No. I do it once a year. For the Monster Hunter Orchestra concert.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time watching like live performances, and I think I always like it when it's more. It's like a bit more raw, a bit different, because I find if it gets too close, it becomes like, what have they done? Why is it like that? Why is it so close? Are they just Are they just playing the song? I can hear that she's, taking breaths and stuff, but it's peculiar.
This is pretty darn close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
part of the fun of the orchestra concerts, the actual Monster Hunter orchestra concerts too, is that they really do change up the arrangements a little bit, whether it's splicing together different pieces of the piece from different games or just making little changes in terms of how they do it. It's really fun to watch. So
yeah,
that's part of the appeal. It was a good time watching it this year. If they ever do release video of it or audio of it, it's definitely worth a listen.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed it. Oh, is this gonna be? Oh, I thought they were gonna do Magnum Marlowe's theme.
I don't know if they do here on TGS. They might.
Magnus' theme slaps.
It does. I'll turn this up just slightly. Chat, feel free and tell me if I've made that drastically too loud.
Hey Shin, hello. Buddy.
Here we go. Calamitous Hellfire.
Oh.
I think this series is pretty unique in terms of, I don't know, how much culture they, not just from Japan, but just from how much culture they imbue into lots of different aspects of the games, whether it's the music or the designs of the monsters, or the armor and weapons. It's pretty cool.
I think that's one of the best parts. Like, from where they draw inspiration, it's so wide and varied, and like it comes from different mythology, and it's not just Japanese mythology either. So that's why I think they can pretty much go infinitely deep with how they keep designing monsters. I think that's really cool.
Kermit asked if I watched the Japanese Olympics opening ceremony this year because it had some Monster Hunter music being played. I did tune into that. I was at work for that as well, and I was kind of desperately trying to find a live stream. I didn't find one, but I saw some clips of the people walking into the Olympic Stadium with Monster Hunter music playing behind it, and it was pretty freaking cool. Anything that's like Monster Hunter in the limelight just makes me happy. Here we go.
The purple lights behind them are a nice effect.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess, Fal, I'm going to ask kind of a broad question. We'll try and keep it a little bit concise because we're going to move on to our music segment here. But,
go on.
Oh gosh, that sounds really cool, doesn't it?
Yes, she is absolutely slaying it. I want to know what the very large plectrum she has is.
I was going to ask you, I'm going to say you can choose one thing to change about Rise Sunbreak, or one addition, or I don't know, just what's one thing. Let's say this has to be a little bit realistic. It's not just like a pie in the sky. What's one thing that you would really like to see them do in Rise Sunbreak?
Oh, honestly, it's funny, right? You know what? No, don't launch on a tangent. More switch skills, like a lot more switch skills. A lot more switch skills. I think switch skills were my favorite addition in recent memory. I think that they are exactly what the game needed. I think that switch skills are fantastic. Other than that, Rise is the game it's meant to be, and I think it's very cool. What about you? What do you want to change?
I was going to reply that I want them to give us switch skills specifically that you can swap out the fixed one right now. Like, you know how you have a fixed wire bug skill or a fixed a Soakbind art? I want them to give us more switch skills, but also specifically let us swap that one out. Something I really enjoy about Rise is that you can kind of play weapons completely differently and ignore new mechanics, old mechanics. You can ignore certain things depending on what you switch out. And so I think that the more they let us kind of mix and match like that, it's really cool. It's something that you can't even get from Generations Ultimate. I mean, like in GU, you can switch out different hunter arts and styles, but it feels a little bit less like assembling different pieces of how you want the weapon to play, and more just kind of picking different flavors of the weapon that they've pre-architected for you. And so I think that that's something that Rise could capitalize on. Oh, that sounds really cool.
They did an amazing job of... I think Magnus' theme in general is just amazing. I think that they did such a good job of blending traditional instruments with more contemporary composition. I think that they slammed it. I think the vocalists doing the little talking segments in the back are fantastic. Screw my rule before. Put Magnum Marlowe in all the games. go back in time and make him the flagship.
I feel the same way with Zinogre.
All right, that's enough out of you. I like Zin. Let the record
He's
show.
the real flagship of every game he's in.
It's true. Let the record show I am a Zin lover.
Interestingly enough, they did play the Mizutsune theme at the orchestra concert, but they didn't have any vocalists along with it. They had a choir there, but they chose to have kind of more traditional arrangements for some of the monsters themes that they played.
How do you feel about some of
Mizutsune.
How do you feel about some of the arrangements of like the older monsters themes in Rise?
I think that I don't know. I don't prefer any of them per se. Like I don't like go out my way and say like this should be the new Zenogre theme. This should be the new Mizutsune theme. I feel like kind of how you feel about the Switch skills fitting how like the game that Rise was meant to be in terms of like with the idea of what Rise is. Those Switch skills fit really well. I feel like same thing with those vocal tracks. I think that those tracks really fit the kind of specific flavor they were trying to I don't know, imbue into some of Rise's locales and fights. I like that.
The bubbles.
I like that it's just a different version of it.
The bubbles are
Oh,
pretty
the bubbles.
cute.
I didn't even notice. That is pretty cute. You're right.
I guess so. Here's largely how I feel about remixes. I guess. The Chameleos theme in Rise, I don't like it. I'm glad that they changed it. I'm glad they did something different. I'm glad they did what they wanted to do. But I don't like it. I guess.
There are a couple that I just don't really particularly enjoy as much. Like I don't like the Tigrex theme that much. There are a couple others I'm not super big on. But I think in general, I'm just kind of I like the overall feeling they went for of the game. I think it's neat that they went for that.
I think the music of Monhun, my feelings on it change all the time, and I feel like it's become a lot more concrete fairly recently. Ooh, what track are they gonna do now? Oh, they actually have a bass line for this one. You know, that video game soundtracks are like scared of the bass guitar. I don't quite get it. They're just afraid of it. Why?
Probably were some video games in like the mid 2000s that were a little bit more blasé with it. I think it's probably like an out of season kind of thing for pop music, at least in video games like this.
The thing, like, there's always been outliers that use it, but generally speaking, the kids, they don't like the bass. They love the treble. What is this track? Why do I not recognize it?
This is either Narwa's theme or the All-Mother theme, I forget.
Hmm.
Nefusa saying getting ready to wail for this. I do remember seeing that after this particular oh, is this Ibushi's theme? Whoops. Breath of Fire is Ibushi. I'm sorry. I don't know. Fake fan. It's so good. It makes me want to play Rise just listening to this. They were saying, I think after this music performance, they were like, "Hey, this will be available as a DLC track you can buy in game."
Yeah. Sorry. Incognito Man, you are correct, but not for video games. I just don't quite get it. Like, headphones are universally bass boosted for no good reason at all. I don't get it. Why do they have so much bass? But video games don't.
The headphones I have on right now have like next to no bass. It's lovely.
Yeah,
I'm that one jerk who will get in the car and be like, "Could you like turn the bass down if we're gonna be on like a long car ride?" Because dude, it'll hurt my head.
Yeah, like the new headphones I got are like they're more treble forward than anything. But I had to GEQ my entire computer to like make it as flat as possible. So now I've been listening to things in a new light, and when I've been like writing and recording a little bit more, I can hear how bad some of my other stuff is.
I think that was the end of our music segment here, which means it's time for us to transition to our next in-game segment. Allison, let's go ahead. I'm going to jump back over to displaying the game real quick, and I want to join you wherever you are in the hub. I want to give a little dance emote. And what we're going to be doing next here is we were talking about music. We figured we'd talk a little bit about the orchestra concert, which we did. My controller's messed up. My controller is constantly running down. What the hell? Why?
Can you like reach your Wii U? Are you using a Pro controller?
I am.
Click the sync button on both things. Sometimes when you disconnect, it just gets a bit stinky for like no good reason.
Hit the sync button.
I'm gonna turn SFX volume off and music volume off.
I was gonna. Oh, hang on. I gotta go under the desk to where the Wii U lives. I'll be right back. I have to go to the cave.
Cave. Have fun cave time. Keep everyone entertained. So, you guys like sports? Huh?
Oh no! Don't ask that.
Sports. How about those bets?
That's legitimately something I don't think I've ever talked about on stream is sports.
I wouldn't know what's happening in the world of American sports. All right.
Good.
The heck with your star sign. Are you a prancer or a dancer?
I love Prance.
Thank you. Cultured.
It's why Rise is officially the worst Monster Hunter game, unfortunately. It was. I mean, it had a good shot at being pretty good, but I mean, it doesn't have Prance.
I for one.
Okay. So what we're doing here is Fallison and I were saying, oh, we're going to be talking about music. We're going to be talking about the orchestra concert a little bit. Why don't we pick out some of our personal, well done steak cuts, our deep cuts of the Monster Hunter music selection? And so we both took a couple picks out of the Monster Hunter bucket of songs that we think maybe aren't talked about very often and maybe ought to be shown off a little bit more. So, Fallison, would you like to introduce us to our first song here?
Sure. Is like.
It's not gonna be long. It's gonna be like a cut of each song.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do like a minute each. But
I'm gonna hit play when you say, and then we'll go ahead and I'll hit pause when you want.
Okay, I'm at 41 seconds on that one.
Of the first theme.
Yep.
Okay, hang on, I gotta get there.
One of my favorite themes of all time has always been the Frozen Seaway battle theme. I think it just encapsulates.
Did you start yours already?
No, I haven't pressed the button yet.
Okay.
I'm just
okay, go ahead.
Just talking about it. But yeah, I think I've always loved the Frozen Seaway. I think if we cut to like this 40-second segment. Wait, no, sure. Frozen Seaway was meant to be from the beginning.
That's what I thought.
Don't mind me. Frozen Seaway from the beginning. I think it like has this real twinkly quality that you hear in like Crystal Cavern stuff. And by the way, you guys should put your votes in for what you think our 3 tracks are gonna be. Points if you can guess any one of them.
Yeah, go free and try and guess my picks.
All right, I'm gonna press.
I think Vallison chose the Frozen Seaway.
I did in fact choose the Frozen Seaway. I'm gonna click play in. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2. But yeah, like these sort of twinkly reverse noises in the beginning, and like the jingling. I don't know. It just reminds me of the first time that you go in and you fight Zemtrios, and he pops up out of the snow. Like, for the longest time, I'd always thought this was the Zemtrios theme, but it's not. It's just so good, though. It's just so good, though.
The strings, those are strings, right?
Which parts? There's a piano in there.
Melody. Melody.
Yes, there are strings.
That's, like, abnormal in Monster Hunter, isn't it?
I think so. I think, in general...
I don't think there are that many stringed instruments, or stringed melodies in...
Interestingly enough, Monster Hunter doesn't toy around with a lot of the instruments that they use too much, but yeah, I think the Frozen Seaway is a bit of a slept-on banger.
It just says the whole song is in reverse, actually.
You're being played.
Am I?
Yes. You're being had. But those sounds at the start, like the sort of lead-in sounds, they are definitely in.
Sure.
But yeah, I really love this one. All right.
Well, thank you for sharing. I'm pausing. Should we go to one of mine, or should we go to your next one?
Up to you. Dealer's choice.
Why don't we go to the first one of mine here?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, you ready? It's just from the start, this one.
Yep. Okay.
All right. 3, 2, and 1. So this is a theme that it's like from just a couple quests in Freebie Night. It's really not played in. I think to my knowledge, it's only in 2nd generation games. It might just be in like Freedom 2 or Freebie Night or Dose. I'm not totally sure which all games it's in, but it's just in a couple arena quests, and it's super good. It reminds me of something from The Witcher 3, just a lot earlier than that. And I don't know, it's got a little bit more of a playful melody and instrumentation than a lot of Freebie Night's music has. Freebie Night's music is kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of intense a lot of the time. There's a few like jovial tracks that are like this, and so I really like it for that. I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
no, it's really cool how they have like those dun 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 dun. Yeah, like the instrumentation is super weird. And you are spot on with the it's like the Witcher soundtrack. So it's called.
And Fish says it's a joke theme. Yeah, it's a jokes theme. It's this good, right?
Yeah, no. Sometimes the jokes do be bopping. Sometimes they do be bopping.
You might remember this from a couple different quests in Freeman Night. In Freeman Night, it's part of a Shakalaka quest. It's actually called the Shakalaka theme as far as this particular version of the soundtrack says. I remember it from a particular Velociprey quest that you have to hunt just endless prey as they pour into a tiny arena. You said you remembered it from what?
I thought that maybe I had heard this in a small arena quest where there were crabs, endless crabs, bearing down upon me, wailing on me with their wee little claws.
That sounds like my personal fantasy.
But yeah,
amazing.
I could be off base on that one. Maybe it was a different song.
All right, no, I think you're probably right. It sounds like it would occur in a quest like that as well. Anyways, you can go ahead and pause, and we can go back to one of your picks. That was just I wanted to showcase that theme because it doesn't get played that often. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is a super duper good one. All right, my second theme was actually the Chameleos theme from the older generations. I think it's super good, and I've got like a bit of a conspiracy hat. I'll like. Remember from 20 seconds? Like 3, 2, 1, and go. I've got a conspiracy theory, because I know Ichinose and Konami were closely sort of together when it came to Freedom Unite and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, because Ichinose's name appears in the Peace Walker credits. So this reminding me of Metal Gear Solid, I can't tell if it's just my brain playing tricks on me, but there are definitely some sort of stabby notes in there that are like reminiscent of Metal Gear Solid 1. Like not...
And it makes sense.
It's like more acoustic, where Metal Gear Solid has a very digital soundtrack. But yeah, it's so Metal Gear, it's so good. I just love it. And the best thing...
I don't know about the Ichinose thing, because this first appeared in Monster Hunter DOS, so I don't know if Ichinose was on DOS. Like, he could have been, I don't know, but I agree. It seems both in terms of its thematic things being similar to some of the Metal Gear like motifs, as well as obviously Chameleos being a very stealthy monster. It totally fits. I get it.
Yeah. I think it's a really good theme, and I love all of the sounds, and I just don't think that there's really anything else like it in all of the series. So definitely, also Chameleos has my favorite weapon in the series, so that helps.
What's that one?
Wax Glare Wand, his switch axe.
It is pretty. It's very pretty.
Yes. Purple.
Little swirl.
Purple is good. But yeah, this OST is fantastic. Oh, and just like one last note, there's like this one sound that is like, it's like a reversed drum that sort of fades in and it goes through both of your headphones. It's like...
I hear it right now. Yeah, I just heard it.
Yeah, it's really...
It's like a rattle almost.
Yeah, it's super good.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing.
No worries.
All right. My second pick. We're going to be starting from Route 116 on this track, okay? Now...
Is it turtlesque in nature?
Yes. So, yep, go ahead.
Okay.
In 3 and 2 and 1. So, this is Odebatarasu's theme. This is a monster from Monster Hunter Frontier. There's a lot of music you could probably pick from Frontier, but this is one of the ones that I often find myself going back to. It's just a really fun theme from that game, and a fun fight to remember back to. There's just, I don't know, it's not so much the instrumentation itself. The instrumentation's good on this one, and the melody that plays right around here is really good, but it's just catchy.
No, definitely agree, and it sort of has... It has this great quality of being fairly understated if you're not really paying attention, but still creating some really good atmosphere. This is really good.
There's just something, I don't know, there's something about this theme to me, like that melody that calls out. That's like, it's evocative of just like some sort of tragic situation where there's this tiny hunter up against this gigantic mountain of a turtle as it barrels through the desert. It sounds like a tragic track that would play as like people charge into battle. At least that's how I think it sounds.
Yeah.
And I love it so much.
It's really good. Like it paints a real picture just like looking at this monster. And I find that sorry, you
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I find that like my issue with a lot of Monster Hunter themes is they sort of don't feel incredibly... Like, I'm not asking for them to be, like, super in your face, but, you know, some of them feel a little bit too understated, and this is the perfect balance. It's really good.
kind of low, and it has some fun melodies and parts to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, for those who who don't know what this is, this monster is from Monster Hunter Frontier, so it's not in the main series at all. It's essentially, picture something the size of an Acantor or Eucamelos, but it's a large red turtle that lives in like the old desert, in one of the old desert maps. You fight this thing, and it can raise up sand pillars around it. It has basically a giant hole in its shell that it can use to suck in sand and blast out up into the air, giant like cannon blasts of sand almost. And they'll come down and they'll one-shot you because everything one-shots you. But it's a really fun fight. I remember having a hard time with it, and it was fun to get better at figuring out how to deal with this monster's insane stuff.
Yeah, this one's really
track
good.
definitely more memorable. All right, we can pause there and go back to your final pick.
My final pick was actually Pride of a Nameless Hunter from Monster Hunter World. It's
This is 44 seconds?
Yeah, 44 seconds. It's
Okay.
the one that had like the most leitmotifs, as you put it before. You and Uchi love that word. But like, there's just something about how it swells, and I remember it being in some of those early World trailers, and it gave me the tinglies. Gave me the tinglies all throughout my body, and it still kind of does every time. Like, whenever I hear it, I get like that dopamine hit. And I'm gonna let it play in 3, 2, 1. Like, just how it sort of builds to this one thing that you heard in all of the trailers. It's like, it's this massive and like very hopeful and optimistic track, and I just love it. And the name, it's like the theme of the player. It's so good.
I was saying to Fowl earlier that I've definitely heard the motif of this, obviously, because it's sprinkled all throughout World's tracks and trailers, but there is... I don't know if I've heard this particular very upbeat kind of driving version of it before. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I know it's like a little bit corny, but it to me is just so good. And it has like the tiny little parts of Proof of a Hero in there. I don't know, man. It does something to me. It gets me. It feels so definitive, you know? It feels so right. I think that's one of the better parts of it.
There's a lot of things I'm looking forward to about going back and kind of revisiting World and trying out some new things in that game. The music's something I'm really looking forward to revisiting. That music is just phenomenal in Monster Hunter. I mean, like, I feel like some of the actual like monster themes are maybe a little bit different than what I like personally, but the actual like area themes and the main themes of the game itself are just incredible. It's so cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. All right, I think I'm happy to move on to your final track now, if you'd like.
Sure. And this is going to start at 135. Are you ready?
1 second. Yep, 135.
All right, 3, 2, 1. So this pick is from a. This is not from like an official game. This is from a tribute made by Capcom for the series' 10th anniversary. There's a whole album filled with tonally very different remixes and tribute tracks. This is one that is a combination of Zenogre's theme and another monster that I'll let you figure out in just a minute here. But it's just a really upbeat, like, kind of like, I guess just an even rockier version of Zenogre's theme. And there's a part of this song that is so good. I've finished several really tough challenges to this track, and it feels like a power-up track to me at least.
It is very good. Super good. I wonder who they got to do the arrangement on it. Because it's pretty good.
Soon, at least.
Yeah.
It's just so good how it goes right into that.
It is. It's funny. It sounds like they missed a tone somewhere when they were blending it, but it's barely noticeable.
I would never pick that out.
It kind of feels like they stitched two things together. But yeah, this is really good.
I always pop off of the song. It's always just good. I don't know. That's my pick. Oops, I hit my mic there.
I think it's a good one. I think, like, that's one thing that I wanted to discuss. Not so much the music, but, like, how music... We'll swap back over to the game if you want to do that. But this was a fun segment.
It was. Thank you for picking out some music for us to play, Mr. Fowl.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to go ahead and turn back on the in-game music here.
Let me...
All right. I'm going to go change weapons real quick, and then we can do another quest or two while we talk.
No worries.
You said you had something else for us to talk about.
I think the music in the context of Monster Hunter is really interesting in how it sets up your expectations, right? How do you feel about the fact that, for instance, something like the Frozen Seaway, that is just a general theme for the area, and some of the more, you know, the lesser monsters in the game, I guess, don't have their own individual themes. Do you think that that impacts, I want to say, your perception of the monster itself because it doesn't have its own special music? Does it make you feel like it's less important?
Did I think about it that much? We briefly talked about this a day or two ago when we were talking. I think it's an interesting thought, kind of thinking about the impact that individual themes have on a monster's like overall presentation and how that monster feels. And I think to me it does impact how it feels to fight a monster. When you think about a monster that like might be imposing, like Diablos, but doesn't have its own theme, it's very different than something like Devil Joe, where Devil Joe has his theme and it is so tied to his entrance and everything about him. It's just, and maybe that's like cherry picking because the Devil Joe theme is just so evocative. But like, I think it's, I don't know, I think it's pretty neat. I don't know if, do you think if you could, I mean, first off, let's let you talk. How do you feel about that stuff?
How do I feel about that stuff?
Yep.
It's funny because I kind of like don't have any amazingly strong feelings, but it does sort of send a subconscious message to me. It's like, oh, like Zamtrios doesn't have his own theme, titled Naharala. Two really good monsters. They don't have their own themes. That's a shame. Like, I would have liked for them to be more important. And obviously everyone's mileage may vary on that one. But like, there's quite a lot of themes that I can't even imagine in my head at the moment, I guess. So I think I do honestly believe it would be a bit much for every monster to have their own theme. But let's say in a perfect world. You want me to do this harvest tour on my own while you... I just need one more Renoplus shell.
Oh, still, I didn't realize you still needed them.
Just one.
Here, I'm coming. I'm just grabbing some files.
But I think it is interesting. The more, like, people are becoming more and more in tune with video game soundtracks now, I think. And I honestly do believe that it's a medium that, or rather, it's an aspect of video games that people are starting to become a bit more in tune with, a bit more appreciative of. I think that's really cool because there's a lot of really good ones. But yeah, I wonder if it's... I wonder how they pick and choose who gets the themes. Like, obviously it's flagships, right? But...
Not just, I mean, Devil Joe's never been a flagship.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say, like, obviously it's flagships, but I wonder what the other deciding factors are.
Thank you for killing these Renoplus for me.
No problem.
Uchi says noteworthy monsters.
Noteworthy monster? But what makes a noteworthy monster, I guess? What makes one monster, like, more noteworthy than the other?
What the team says does. I guess what the team decides does.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'm just thinking out loud. But yeah, Zamtrios is my... I'm biased here. Zamtrios is my favorite monster. I think he has some really unique...
Really?
Yeah, he's absolutely my favorite.
I had no idea.
Loggy is a flagship, but he doesn't have a theme. We just listened to his theme.
It's shared with other monsters.
Is it? Amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's the general area theme for Desert Island. It plays with Royal Ludroth. There's a joke in my chat where I like to joke around that it's Royal Ludroth's theme, just to get people a little bit riled up.
Well, that's curious that they even call it that then.
I think it is called his theme officially in the OST, but I mean it's shared for the whole area theme of Desert Island Mogul Woods, which is unique. There aren't many. I don't think there are any other flagship themes that are like that.
I think that's fascinating. It's funny as well because I've seen the Frozen Seaway theme referred to as Zamtrios' theme, and I think if you type Zamtrios theme in, it'll just play you the Frozen Seaway, even though there's some villages typed that way. But
yeah, I Rathalos as well.
Yeah, Rathalos. I can't even imagine what his theme might sound like.
Well, that jerk just deserves it. He deserves to not have his own theme.
Yeah. But also, no. Also, Title's theme. I like the way you think, Fish.
Do you like Title Najarala as well?
I do like Title Naharala,
Really?
Najarala. Do you not?
What weapon do you fight it with normally?
Not gonna lie, first 2 Monster Hunter games I played through, 3U and 4U, I just used Sword and Shield.
That's fair. I think Sword and Shield is decent against it because of the element, right? I forget. It's been a while.
Yeah, I didn't consider that. My first playthrough through 3U was like, I was a full set baby, and it was just the ones I liked the look of.
Hey,
I
I'm
thought
sitting here in a full set. We're good.
I thought the individual skills, like, oh, this thing gives me +3 attack. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you do.
Hey Ryu, how's it going? But yeah, I like Title Naharala. I like Naharala in general. I think he's pretty cool. I think he's a cool guy.
I liked him in high rank.
Not so much later on.
As soon as I got to G rank, in 4 Ultimates G rank, not Jirala. I don't know about GU, but in 4 Ultimates G rank, now Jirala gets some like homing scales that come out after a decent chunk of his moves, or it's a move that he can throw out really quickly, and they'll stun you no matter what. I think even if you have earplugs, maybe. Or maybe if you don't have earplugs, they'll stun you. Where like normally you can dodge those scales in high rank, you can see him coming and get out of the way. G rank, they home in on you and they come out really quickly after a good chunk of his moves. So it's just like you're going to be stuck in like the roar stun from those scales pretty frequently, and I find that really frustrating.
I think on the next cast. Sorry, you go. Please finish your thought.
I had gotten used to high rank where you can kind of outplay most aspects of his hunt, and in G rank you just can't unless you negate it with your plugs, which is lame.
Well, I think that comes to something I'd like to talk about on the next episode. So I'm gonna write that down afterwards. But skills and how we feel about them.
I think there are some interesting things to be said about that. I have some opinions about skills.
Opinions, you say? Right. I'm gonna make my gloves.
You do it.
I think we fight.
Let's hunt some stuff.
I think we fight Goebel.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I'm not doing underwater bow. Never mind. That was a fun quest. I killed 2 Rhinopolos with bow. I was gonna use bow, but I don't want a bow gobble.
They had it coming. Alright, Baroth. Dam braces. I'm upset that I don't have the jorts. Elatrion
okay,
will be done in my jorts.
You're better for it. You're better for it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Alright, I've never played Gunlance underwater in this game.
Alright, give me 1 second. I'm putting together... I'm not putting together, but I'm grabbing out some gunning equipment.
You're gonna gun it? You're gonna shoot it underwater?
I am.
How are you, Ryu? Are you well?
Satisfying things in the series to me is just having a decent selection of weapons and setups to be able to pull out and use at any given time.
Yeah,
it's
it is
fun.
It is nice.
It's just satisfying.
To be like, I can play whatever I want at any given time. With a lot of little things that sort of add to it. Oh. Garçon.
New book I haven't gotten yet.
Alright, I need to stop eating goose fruit. Just realized I have no potions. I've just been flying by the seat of first aid meds.
You might want to prep for this quest. Maybe.
Oh yeah?
This person doesn't sell many shots. I'm disappointed by her selection. I gotta go like combine shots? Hang on. I think when we get a little further, she'll probably sell some stuff. Oh no, I was gonna make... What, some perish?
Crimson, thank you so much for the resub. I hope that you are doing fantastically well, my friend. How's work treating you at the moment? The 10-month sub? Man, that's crazy. I don't get to talk to you nearly as much as I'd like. But, I hope that the sub feels worth it, man. Alright, Granny Go-To, please be selling some potions. She's selling herbs. Well, oh, she even says bungler in this game too. And like,
I'm pretty sure the gal in the hub sells potions, doesn't she?
She might only sell potions to you. She's a potion
she might not.
holder.
She might not be selling them. Never mind.
Also, hello Rai. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Hey Rai. Okay. Let's hunt that gobble. We're almost gonna get our urgent, dude. You ready to fight Legiacris?
Yeah, I was born ready. I came out the womb swinging at Legiacris.
quite the image.
Did we both post the same quest? All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think about it. I'm so used to
It's
solo. I apologize.
It's fine. I'll let you. You apologize. You're footing the bill for this quest, big fella. No problem to me. No issue
I
to
probably
me.
have more than any. It's okay.
I would imagine so.
Seeing as I'm actually the one
was it
playing this
rad?
game.
I mean, I'm playing it once every 2 weeks. That's playing
Yeah.
this game.
It is. You're not wrong.
You know, I actually had to move my Nintendo Wii U back into my office because I've been playing Donkey Kong 64 on it. Game's awful. I love it, but it's terrible.
That was a game where I had it at a friend's house. Like my friend had it, and we played it together, and we could never ever beat it. Ever.
The same one who had Ocarina of Time.
Same friend.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
No, you can play this game online, Rai. Monster Hunter Tri for the Wii, for a long time you couldn't play online, but now there are private servers for that game as well.
Right. Global isn't gonna stand a chance.
I've noticed you don't take like half of the stuff in the box.
Yeah. That has nothing to do with the fact that I neglected to empty my inventory.
Okay. Do you need us to go back?
No. We'll be fine.
So what skills does your set give?
It
The
gives
Baroth set?
attack up, guard up. Not guard up, but like a guard. Yes.
Guard +1.
Yes. And there was something else, I believe. Okay, it's guard +1, defense up +1, attack up +1, and raise hunger. So all in all, it is a fantastic low rank anchor into this game. Or this.
It's good to know, Rai, if you're looking to buy this game. There's only online multiplayer for this game on the Wii U currently. The 3DS never had online multiplayer. Only via connecting through a Wii U does it do that. I'm
still amazed this game works as well as it does across actual continents.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is a pretty robust, in a way. It's like I wouldn't say it's robust because there are issues that can take place, but it's fairly like non-temperamental most of the time. I guess part of it is that like you're both versing a computer, and so that helps with it.
Where's my rollback netcode, Capcom?
Here he is.
Oh damn! You zoom when you press the button in this game. You fly at the monster. The attack button.
Oh well, that's Gunlands for you. Yeah. Gunlands has that nice underwater mobility. Right, I have rapid fire.
But how does gun work underwater?
Gun, it works pretty much the same.
No, I mean, how does it function? In a...
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I like the way you think.
I've been bit by the gobble. Like a gunblade works, Uchi says.
Like a gunblade work? Well, I've explained this to Uchi. The gunblade works by the shell vibrating the blade. There is no actual explosion. So you take it back, Uchi, they're not the same?
Someone says that the bowguns work underwater because they are crossbows. They're bowguns, and not just straight up guns.
Yes, but there are explosion effects when they hit. And there's even like muzzle flash when you shoot the gun. That must just be dust because no one plays it. Also, I wasn't genuinely asking, don't worry. I was just putting it out there, positing the question.
Parried once, that's about all I'm gonna get off of line. It's normal too the rest of the time.
Man, how did I play through this game 2 full times with Sword and Shield when I could have done this?
No wonder you're like surprised about Gunlands. Gunlands is like one of the more mobile, and Sword and Shield is not particularly mobile. Sword and Shield's pretty odd underwater. It feels like a very different weapon. Dual Blades feels almost unchanged, by contrast.
I see.
That's something I've enjoyed over the last couple of weeks, is getting to grips with each of the weapons underwater. We've done, at this point, we did Legiacris with all of the weapons. Something I've learned about gunning in this game is that underwater your crit distance is like halved, so the distance from which you'll deal full damage with your gun is a lot lower. Oops.
Interesting.
I wouldn't have expected that. I'd say most weapons feel pretty much unchanged underwater. Sword and Shield is one of the exceptions, which is probably a good part of why some people say it's so poor in this game.
Who's this? This is Gobel. Civ. Gunlance is B tier on ground, but A tier in water. Oh yeah? Well, they're all S tier in my heart, so... That's the only tier list that matters. The one inside your soul.
True. That's fair, Crimson Gunner. That's fair. You got. He was camping the entrance for you.
They've been doing that. These filthy spawn campers.
They tend to in this game. They'll come in behind you.
Alright, need a little sharpen.
I'm playing this matchup very safe. I'm just sitting back letting you soak up all the damage.
I've only had
Yes, you
to
do.
heal once.
I just mean letting you take the aggro. Not actually the damage. So.
Oh yeah, full burst. That's a thing.
Nice.
Or Wyvern's Fire, rather.
Yeah, Wyvern's Fire is definitely good. Not quite as strong on wide as it is on long gun lanes, but still really good to use. Nice strong move.
How can you not like the underwater combat? He says fighting the thing that probably moves not too much.
What, this thing?
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty decent underwater fight. It's not too slow, it's not too fast. It's not too similar to it on land. Like, it feels wholly unique once it gets underwater. Like, I think Ludroth doesn't feel that cool to me underwater. Legiacris feels okay. He feels pretty different on water and on land. This thing, I think so far, is my favorite underwater fight. Which I feel like is not that hot of a team. Someone asked if this is the medium gun. Nope, this is a light bow gun. Medium and light and heavy bowgun was only a thing in Monster Hunter. This game just has the traditional light and heavy bowguns. So this is a light bowgun with some rapid fire normal too. Pretty low maintenance. I think it's limping already.
Yeah, because
no,
we're
it couldn't.
God gaming.
It couldn't. It couldn't be. It might have been. It goes through that cave when it's limp.
Mayhaps. Mayhaps. Mayhaps.
All right, back to area 1 we go. Regios has one of every type of weapon in 4 Ultimate.
Yeah.
And I believe GU as well.
The flagships always end up with that.
Especially nowadays. I feel like towards the beginning they didn't always have one of everything. I think the first one who had that was maybe, I want to say like Tigrex or Nargacuga, and then after that it was pretty consistent.
Very true.
I don't know if he's here. Yeah, he is here because the little icon on the top right says question mark instead of different area.
Alright, let's get him. How about them boys?
I was just getting some ore. This game does look pretty nice on the Wii U. I'll admit it looks a lot nicer than playing on the freaking 3DS, but I'm dedicated to it.
The colors are beautiful.
It's a nice game. Frame rate.
I guess I just don't
But,
feel
like,
the frame rate much.
I'm dumb picky about stuff like that.
And you know you're entitled to be.
The 3DS isn't perfect either. I don't know. I think it's the frame rate in combination with the freaking input lag that really gets me with this game.
Excuse me, why would you stop doing the combo? Just, I mean...
There's the break. Feels good, man. which hunting style will I choose in GU? Kazuki, I will be using all the styles, and I will be letting chat pick them quite often when we're playing GU, I think. Dude, gunning in multiplayer underwater feels like amazing. I just sit back and wherever he goes, I just shoot.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about GU was just like booting up the old stream and being like, all right, you pick my weapon, style, arts, and monster. And it's like you get to experiment a lot with things you might not have given a lot of a whirl with.
Yeah, this is luxurious, dude. Nice quest.
And you wanted me to prepare for it.
Hey. I don't know. I need a lot of help when I first fought him because I haven't fought a billion Gobble. No, when we play through GU, we will not be using absolute readiness or absolute evasion at all. That's one thing I'm not going to be doing.
But it's meta. How could you not play with the meta?
I don't care.
No,
I
no,
think it makes the fights less interesting. Why would I ever have to learn my way around this tough move when I can just absolute readiness out of the way?
Exactly.
It just basically, I don't know, it just makes it so you really don't have to learn your way out of a lot of situations. Sometimes, I mean, if you don't have the arts up, you'll have to deal with it, but I feel like a lot of folks would just take the hit and be like, well, next time I'll have that up.
Well, when you play GU, you can watch my guide on it and be guided through the first hour of the game. And then you can click like on the guy's comment who said, garbage video, dude.
Aw,
Made me,
actually.
yeah, it made me smile.
What the hell? Why? Why did they say that?
It was a great comment because they were like, you didn't explain this at all. It's like, it was the character customization, buddy. You want me to explain how to pick my hair color? That was the genuine complaint, and it brings me a smile all day, every day. Thank you, Dylan from YouTube.
I don't think there's anything wrong with experimenting with the different styles in GU. I just think absolute readiness and evasion don't have much in terms of redeeming qualities. Like adept and valor have like trade-offs and like they make you approach the fight differently. It's like it's at least interesting. Absolute readiness and evasion are just like they're just get out of jail free.
Yeah.
All right, have our urgent up. I think they just take away from the game. But, man.
And that's fair.
All right, the Fisherman's Fiend, Hunt a Lagiacrus. I've learned the most dreadful financial news. The Lagiacrus has appeared in our waters. That beast will destroy the fishery. I'll pay anything if you save our economy. Oh, the people, right? They're people too, right? That's not great motivation to take that quest on, is it?
You don't care about the people and their fisheries?
I care about the people. I don't care about the economy. Or at least not this barren economy.
You heard it here first. Michael RistrettoChronicles hates the economy, wants you to suffer under capitalism. I shouldn't paraphrase.
I'm gonna play some longsword.
Very fair. The Lagiacrus underwater.
I'll be using SP in 60 years when I run for president. Please no.
60 years when you're not running for president because you're already high Archon of the known world.
Oh gosh.
And I
don't
can
want
be
anything like that.
I can be a little gremlin man in a cage and you can let me out to feast on the remains after dinner.
Isn't that what we're doing?
Well, yeah, but you'll have more power and therefore the remains will be more opulent.
I'm almost ready to take on that quest.
That's fine. I'm just doing what I do between quests, which is run circles around this mat on the floor.
Have you put away your items yet?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Have you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Glad.
I would never not have my items put away. That'd be pretty cringe.
I have given us a gourmet voucher.
I already ate.
Oh, shoot. I should have asked.
No.
The jerk.
It's okay. I should have asked. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. So when do you
No,
think you'll
Marth
be
says-
playing GU?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna answer a dumb question in chat.
Go right
Zelda, Marth has never fought Lao at all.
What? How?
There is somebody in our chat who is vehemently Marth's tip in our chat is vehemently avoiding Lao Shanlong spoilers. Like they won't watch the fight, they won't hear his music, they won't watch the cutscene. They're gonna be so disappointed.
I like
imagine
WoW.
waiting like I mean I like WoW too, but imagine waiting years and avoiding spoilers for years for Lao.
Sorry.
Maybe that's mean. I don't know. I don't want to make them feel bad because like I get it. I get avoiding spoilers about fights and like experiencing it for yourself for the first time. But just like to the point where you're waiting like years and years on end that you're just like oh. Like he has to know what it looks like. That's all there is to the fight. It doesn't do anything.
I'm fascinated with how I'll feel about Yamasukami and Hypnocatress when I get there, because they're the like two main driving forces behind playing.
They're not the best fights in that game. But they're not the top fights. They're interesting, but they're not the top.
Yeah,
fights.
well, according to unnamed members of the community, none of the fights are the best fights, so at least they'll be unique.
They are unique. They are an experience. You get to pretend you're playing Frontier for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty fun.
just put
I think it's
Frontier
fun.
out. Just put Frontier out. Alright. Capcom, there's money to be made. People want Freedom Unite too. That's Frontier.
They're not doing that.
Oh, I hope that you have my luck, and you saying that has just willed it into existence. Because I remember a while back I said, Sora is never coming to Smash, and I look stupid. I just look dumb. I just look...
It's okay.
Oh, Lagiacrus. Like this dude.
What do you? Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think of Lagiacrus? I have some fresh impressions on him because I haven't really fought him much up until recently.
I'd like
what do you think of him?
I'd like to hear your fresh impressions first.
Okay, I think he's pretty interesting. I think he is very unique for a flagship fight because he's just like two totally different tempos, whether you're in or out of the water. It's not like the most exciting moment to moment. Like he's not just like every moment trying to get on top of you and kill you. It's more of a slow-paced underwater fight. Also, he looks fantastic on the Wii. Damn. I don't know. I think it's really unique. I think I like how the tempo of the fight changes. I think it really puts to the test whether you have started to get acclimated to the water combat, because it's gonna like the thing that I think seems to be the nut, like the tough part of underwater combat so far, is that there are going to be moves that you cannot get out of the way of if they're already started up, and you see them coming. Then you're just going to get hit. Your mobility is such underwater that you will not make it.
Yeah, that's
So-
that's basically how I feel about him too. And I think that element can make him feel a bit cheap or frustrating.
Totally, and I think maybe he's supposed to feel like that. I think like part of it is like you have to start paying attention to his patterns. Like, oh man, if he's swimming away like this, I gotta cheat or I'm gonna get decked.
But yeah,
So I don't know. I think he's pretty neat. I'm excited to see the other versions of him later in this game. I really don't know anything about those other versions yet.
the other versions I like a lot. I think that they're very cool. And that's all I'll say of it. Lagiacrus is an interesting monster to me. It feels like they could innovate with him a bit, I guess, in like 6th gen or whatever.
Do you think he can come back without underwater?
I think he has, and it's just a version of him that already exists in this game, but it's just not him, I guess.
Like, do you think that he can come back without underwater and be good?
I don't think he can come back without underwater and be what made him the face of this game.
Sure.
I think he can be good, I suppose. Like, in the same way...
Do you like him in Generations Ultimate?
Yeah, I do. I really like
Okay.
the fight that he's based off in this game. So,
Okay.
the version of him there is just a version of him here. But I won't say
Okay.
about that.
Okay, that's fine. I fought him in GU years and years ago, but I can't remember his fight that much.
Ooh, satisfying kaboom break. I think that was the back
Ooh.
break, right?
No. Head break, probably. Or arm.
But I was in his gooch.
I don't know what broke. Maybe his arm. I think one of his claws, because I don't think the back's broken yet.
You're right, the back is not broken. When I was asking, I could only see through his gooch.
Head's not broken, arm's not broken, chest isn't broken. It's got,
Nah,
it's gotta be one of his arms.
Yeah, it's one
It's
of his
gotta be
arms.
one of the arms. Dead. That double hip check gets me.
Fair, fair.
Have some beans, chat.
Ow.
Well, we're making some progress this cast, aren't we, Kels?
I would
Both
say
have
so.
Full armor sets. We're fighting Magiacrus. We're gonna unlock some new hunts. We're getting some cards.
Ah, I hope that I was like just a hair out from him there.
Slowly.
I'm a big fan of the poison noise in this game, like that constant, like ticking almost.
I have some weird deja vu going on.
What do you mean?
This is like deja vu for me carding, saying what I just said, having people in chat say the thing they just said, and having you say what you just said. Deja vu's weird.
Really? Someone commented on the ticking noise of the poison?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't think it actually is deja vu. I think it's like, I don't think I've actually heard that combination of things before, but my brain sure thinks it has.
I see. Maybe it was a premonition. Maybe it was shown to you in a dream.
I know.
Oh boy.
What are the beans for? You can use them to redeem sound effects most nights. I have the sound effects turned off today. And you can also hoard them like a dragon or like a wyvern and save them up for a leaderboard.
A baked bean dragon.
Sure. It's coffee beans. Yeah, you can redeem sound effects usually on screen. You don't have any? You'll have a couple. I just gave some out. You get them just for being here, and you get them for being here when I cart.
How many beans does Parsec have at this point?
He's nuts.
Got a couple. And he never spends them. He's like an ancient monk.
So much control. Gosh dang. Dang it, he's doing it again. I should have healed. Parsec has 750,000 beans.
It's a couple beans. It's a couple beans.
My friend Biotech was telling me about how different underwater combat feels with another person. I can see it. Because it feels like these areas are a lot larger than some of the other areas you might normally be dragging around to aggro in. Like if this was an on-land area, it would be huge in terms of scale.
No! You hip checking goose? Typical longsword main. Going out of their way to hit me, the never tripping gun lance user. I can't believe it.
I'm gonna be kind and not say anything back.
Always tripping me. Despite the fact I've blasted you about 1,000 times in this day.
Be nice and not say anything.
No, go on, do it.
No, I'm good.
I dish it out plenty, I can take it.
I'm good.
Alright, fine.
I find it, I guess, you know what, Val, I find it nice that you aspire to be a never tripping gun lance user. I wish you well on your quest.
No aspirations required. I've got the job.
Damn.
Lily, you're about 5 years too late for that comment. See?
That was something. That was the chest break.
Yeah.
Nice. Double stagger.
I like to believe that you sound not focused now, just annoyed that I would even imply that I've not tripped you. The goal,
No,
the absolute chutzpah.
I was gonna say, how did I not get hit by that? Oh yeah, this was a podcast? Yeah. I mean, during each of the kind of tentative layouts that Val and I have put together for the show, we usually list out a couple topics we want to cover, and we'll plan out maybe 1 or 2 fun segments to do. Today was the music thing, and then at the end of the show, we just like to kind of, I don't know, free things up, open it up to whatever we feel like talking about. Maybe just play the game a little bit, whatever we feel like. I think right now we're just kind of playing the game a little bit.
Yeah,
nice.
we got through the topics, and it's been nice, like at the end of, the more formal, like, listening segment, I guess, to just sort of chill out and play a bit of 3U. If there's any more topics you'd like to cover, no worries.
I don't know.
Well, no need to rush through, like, our entire barrel of, potential ideas. I don't want to assault people.
Gucci says the only podcast where the host doesn't know what a podcast is.
Hey, I didn't say I didn't know what a podcast was. I have a very loose idea of what a podcast is.
Seeing the longsword finisher in 3D space is kind of cool.
Very much so. Thank you, Ryu. Wait, why am I being backsat on how to play Gunlance? I've played this game once or twice in my life. You just press the buttons until the thing dies. Don't backseat me. Otherwise you're getting a kiss on the forehead. Yeah, you post that love heart. Ah!
Okay, then.
Am I a soul main? How dare you? I'm a Nagori Yuki main.
You heard podcast and almost went to Apple Podcasts. This is not on any proper podcast platform. I feel like you need a name to be on a podcast platform. Otherwise they
All right.
laugh at you.
I'll start.
Tim Cook laughs at you.
I'll start.
Personally over the phone.
Tim Curry laughs at you.
Tim Cook.
I'll start brainstorming. You start brainstorming. We'll brainstorm.
We've been
brainstorming. Yeah, but I haven't landed on anything that I'm like amazed with. Yeah, Gore Magala 19. Welcome in. This is my.
Gore's here. Hi, Gore. For a long time, Gore was the bean queen of our stream. They held the most beans, not Parsa.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is a fortnightly podcast that myself and Ristretto do, where we play 3U and talk about Monhunt, and it's really fun. Welcome to the stream. We have a wonderful time here.
Yeah, we're winding down a little bit. We're past the formal topic part of the night, and we're just kind of chilling. We're fighting our first Legaicus together. Making some memories.
How did I play Sword and Shield against this monster? This is just so much better.
Having a shield, a usable shield underwater like Gunlance is so nice. Combined with the forward swipes like mobility, it's super nice. Where's he off to? What? Oh, he's gonna spin down at me.
Anyway, I'd like to take this time to remind you guys that if you haven't checked out my buddy Ristretto for whatever reason, and clicked on his channel, click the little love heart button, I encourage you to do so. We stream at entirely different times, so you can at times get full days of Monhunt streams if you're so inclined.
It's true.
So click.
And likewise, folks, if you want to watch Fallison streams Monster Hunter sometimes right now, but they stream a good variety of games. If you're like that fuddy-duddy wrist, he only ever streams freaking Monster Hunter, how boring, he takes forever, what a jerk, then go check out Fallison's here. He plays Monster Hunter faster, he does good challenge runs, which I think some folks from our chat would really enjoy, and he does other games. There's the limp. You press the buttons until it stops moving.
We are gaming on this dude. We are gaming on this dude. Thank you for shouting out Ristretto.
Yeah, Fowl also does multiplayer far more often than I do. So if you're more into the theme of multiplayer, check out both his stream and his Discord. I know that in your Discord, Fallison, there are always people kind of grouping up for hunts.
Yeah, it's funny that Rai says that. I remember I came into a group chat with Rai, and I saw that there was some "ow, I'm dead" messages prior to me getting in there. They were like, if he helps us kill Big Sis Valstrax, he's a god and we have to respect him. So it was like 5 in the morning. I sat up straight in my chair. I was like, they don't know that I know, but I know that I know, and I'm gonna fight this Valstrax. And fight this Valstrax I did. Damn, I can't believe I carded towards the limb. Do people get
very close? I came very close to just tripling us. Don't feel bad.
Oh no. People should get beans when I cart. I can collapse the bean economy.
Just by purposely carting.
Yep.
I do that enough on my own. Don't worry. He's so tired.
Well, no worries, Gormagala. Welcome to the stream. I hope you have a wonderful time. Lovely to meet you, and your name is one of my favorite monsters. Yeah, there you go.
Toppled.
Toppled? And I'm not even there.
I thought
Actually,
that's what you were saying. There you go about.
oh, I'm not even there. Let me see. How many beans do I have? I'm Oh, I'm so close. One of whoever's 420th needs to spend some beans. I'm so close.
You are almost 420. That's pretty great.
Damn, dude.
The economy of Risk Stream is fundamentally broken to begin with. It's not meant to be an economy, really. It's meant to be something fun you can do.
Oh man, you should check out my channel point rewards. That economy is broken. These people think they're winning a mystery box, but they've got no chance. Because I wanted the scenic route for you. Oh, thank you for the follow.
I'll save some cars for you, buddy. Don't
Thanks.
you worry.
Oh, is he dead?
No, he's not dead yet.
Okay, I'm
You would have
coming.
seen it on your screen.
Coming. I'm being chastised for walking the wrong way. Yeah, I could have taken the secret area, but I didn't. And now we're here. So, you know, what are we going to do? Are we going to ignore this beautiful tension? No. I'm just going to enjoy the part where I walked through and had a good time.
Crystal's coming into a raid for my stream here.
Crystal!
Thank you, Chris. Welcome.
I will absolutely get a shout out for Crystal Time Gear as well. They've raided into our group project. As such, they get shout out in both stream. Also, I've got a big soft spot for Chris, so you know, what are you gonna do?
Crystal is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Both as extreme ranchers. They fly airplanes, they sail sailboats. They enjoy stories more than anybody else I know.
Thank you,
Monster Hunter stories. And maybe Dragon Quest too, for that matter. I don't know if anybody. I'm sure there are big Dragon Quest fans out there, but I only know Crystal.
I don't think that there's a bigger Dragon Quest fan than Crystal. I don't think I've ever met anyone from your chat specifically that's ever talked about how they feel about Dragon Quest.
I was stunned. I know Uchi likes Dragon Quest. I know that.
Untrue.
I think Uchi has taken it upon themselves to personally evangelize Dragon Quest in our Discord.
Uchi and I have had some conversations because I tried to play one.
How'd it go?
About as well as me sharing any other opinion I have goes.
Alright, you know what we're gonna do on this run back, Falison? We're gonna double dunk on this guy with Gunlance.
Absolutely. The blasts. The blasts. Going ham.
Uchi got you into Dragon Quest? Okay, I'm sorry. Credit where credit's due. Uchi is a big fan of Dragon Quest. You're using the Lagomberator, right?
Yep. I sure am.
That was a bummer of a triple. Let's run this back.
A bummer? Tripling with friends is way more fun than speedrunning
That's
quests with nerds who want to call me
I don't
names
do
in
either.
the... You don't do either? Well, now you've done one.
I don't normally do either.
Well, hey, we're breaking tradition.
Did you already eat?
Yes. Yes, I did. I had to think about it because I was like, am I a scumbag? But no, turns out I'm not just the biggest scumbag on planet Earth. Trying my best not to. Yo Log, my
music's
good
so
friend.
good.
How's the world treating you? It's good to see you. Ah,
Let's try it again.
yeah. Don't be bummed out about the trip. They're all good.
I'm not too bummed. I've got time for maybe one or two more quests here before I must go to bed.
I had a feeling. Would we like to
It's-
finish this urgent and then call it there? That
Yeah,
is
that
sufficient.
sounds good to me.
I don't need 2 maps. Right.
10-page essay on the bean economy is coming someday in the future. Oh no. I don't actually want anyone to overanalyze it. I'm not like an economist. I just have something fun. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's how every economist. Maybe that's how the people behind every economy feel. They're just like, oh, we were just setting up something fun for people. Oh shoot. You did what? You did what? Oh no.
Sometimes you accidentally capitalism. It's a darn shame. Can't believe that we accidentally invented capitalism. Yeah, I think the real trick is, you just gotta honeypot people. With channel points, I've got way better prizes on offer, but everybody wants little kisses. They want tiny little kisses blown to them. Speaking of, Magala, here's your free first timers kiss. See? Get them hooked. And then they forget all about the fist fight.
What fist fight?
If you save up 1 billion channel points on my channel, you can earn a fist fight. I'll fly to your house and I'll fly to your house and fight the recipient.
Didn't you threaten me with that earlier?
Yeah, but you'd get it for free.
Oh, okay. Sweet. What a deal.
There's a couple ways you can get it. It's like redeem the points or deserve it, basically.
We're firing. Oh.
Don't worry.
He backed up at the perfect time.
You hit him in my spirit. Nathan, I'll get you.
Yeah, these two tired gun lancers do.
Absolutely, we can exchange the fist fight for going for tea and scones. It's in the contract anyway. Like, you know, if you don't want the fist fight, I'll just fly there and we'll do whatever. But also legally afterwards, we have to have a handshake and a meal. But you can't send me to someone else's house. It doesn't quite work that way. What if they don't want the fist fight? That's like buying someone a dog for Christmas. I don't think you can do that to someone.
I'm trying to imagine how that fist fight would go, because I'm rather scrawny looking. Oh, I would lose any fist fight I was ever in.
I don't want. Here's the thing. I don't actually want to get physical, get violent. I'm not exactly a rough and tumble guy. Have you seen the size of my glasses? They're huge. That's not rough and tumble.
I have secret glasses.
You wear contacts?
No, I just have glasses that I don't wear while I'm streaming.
Oh, you.
I'm not that blind.
Why don't you wear your glasses? You scared? Scared of what the world will say?
I'm gonna make my eyes worse if I wear my glasses when I'm looking at something that's close.
Make a good point. Make a good point. But yeah, it's funny.
I do squint a little bit. I really need new glasses. It's getting bad.
It's funny.
I don't believe that streaming as a hobby has helped me as far as my eyesight goes.
It's pretty funny. For the longest time, I needed glasses. Like, actually in school, sat at the front of the classroom because I just couldn't read the board otherwise. And then when I started dating my girlfriend, her mother got mad at me for squinting at her all the time, so we went to the optometrist and sorted that out right quick.
Like a nice arrangement.
Yeah, it was pretty weird wearing glasses and being able to see properly for the first time. I got incredibly motion sick.
Oh, yeah. That'll happen for some get glasses. I am just getting destroyed by this guy, Chris, by the way. This is way worse than I thought.
No. Oh, wait.
I'm good. I'm good. He's coming at us, though. Look out.
I hope I have time to react.
I guess you have a shield, don't you?
A really good shield, too. Why did I play Sword and Shield in this game? Oh,
no, shoot. Yeah, I guess that shield comes in handy, doesn't it?
Yeah. Big fan. Ow, oh yeah, he has wind pressure, but I suppose it's not wind pressure, huh?
There's a separate underwater pressure skill, I think, like current or something. I've seen it, I think.
Now that you're into the game as much as you are, how do you feel about underwater combat, just sort of generally? No holds barred, like
something... I think it's interesting. I think it's clearly not balanced. Not in terms of like, oh, well, this weapon sucks and this weapon's good. Like, there's a little bit of weird disparity like that, but like, I don't think that really matters too much. You can work around that. You can. You have the tools, I believe. At least in the fights that I've done thus far. Maybe the tougher hunts later on, it really feels like some weapons have a rough time and some others don't. But to me, it just feels like hunters in general are not equipped underwater to fairly handle the monster's movesets. In terms of like, sometimes when they hit you, they will 100% combo on you depending on RNG. And to me, that really reminds me of some of the older Monster Hunter games. Like, first and second gen has a lot of interactions with monsters where like you just learn to look out for certain moves and standing around certain parts of the monster, or looking out after certain moves they do because you know you can get comboed into certain things that are really dangerous. And to me, it feels like that underwater. You can't just keep reacting to things that you can on land. It feels a lot more predictive. And so to me, it honestly feels like a lot like you go back in time a little bit in terms of like combat mechanics. I think it's neat. That's interesting. No other Monster Hunter game has that where you shift back and forth to more reactive and more predictive combat based on like the area you're in.
Definitely agree. I'm interested to see how you feel about some of the later underwater fights.
Yeah, me too. I know low rank isn't like the most strenuous of tests to figure out if it's like fair or not. I'm sure as we go later on, there'll be some things that are like just definitively unfair, and you'll just have to deal with it. But that's fun sometimes.
Yeah, I largely think that some monsters really shine underwater. Like, it is of my opinion that like certain monsters that others might not necessarily like in other games, they could come to like them in 3U just because the underwater makes them a bit better.
I've been Plesioth, yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited too.
yeah. I like Plesioth in this game. In general,
I like Plesioth in all the games.
yeah. In general, I kind of like Plesioth. You know, I even liked him in Freedom Unite.
Me too. He was a monster that I liked to practice when I was new to Freedom Unite to like try and gauge if I was getting better. Which is kind of a weird test, I guess.
Fair enough.
Whew, that combo is just crazy.
We're double dunking. I don't think I blasted you. I'm absolved of all sin. We sure did, Sid. It was fantastic.
Oh. Did I block you? Did I blast you there?
I don't know. I didn't see you. How do you feel about being tripped in general?
In multiplayer?
Yeah.
I don't mind it as a mechanic. I really like that. I mean, I think that already multiplayer is the most broken thing you can bring out to reduce the challenge of a hunt. Even in the games where it scales up the HP higher when you have 4 people, you just put out so much damage. It's like, it makes it so much more breezy, which is fine. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Not every hunt needs to be like a crazy, volatile multiplayer. Like, everybody's dying left and right. It's really, really hard to complete. You have to have like basically like a synchronized team to finish a hunt. But I think it's okay for there to be some downsides to multiplayer, like the monster running around a little more, or you have to be a little bit more thoughtful of where you're attacking.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it.
I guess I'm interested in how they would design monsters for multiplayer. But I guess a topic for another show. You know, not to get too inside baseball, but I think like 3 to 4 topics per cast is pretty good if we can explore them at sort of the depth that we have. Any more and it might be a bit of a mess.
Railroad. Railroad? That's not what I was trying to say. A wild ride, I guess is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's like we have finished.
Railroad.
We have concluded this topic. We will now discuss the next topic.
Oh shoot, I didn't actually block the thunder. And then I committed to a move and it got me hit. That's how it'd be.
No, Chris, please stop roaring.
1, 2.
How did I get hit? Game? I want a refund.
His theme's good.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
So cool that they gave respect to Royal Ludroth. I'm up with the meat.
People get upset with that.
Yeah. Don't you try and slap me. I love that, like, he spins to the left and just does a little slap with his claw.
I also like that move.
It's such a dinky little move.
See, like, folks get annoyed at stuff like that, like they get annoyed at trip damage. That stuff is, like, really important for a fight where you can't just hang out around him. It makes it not safe to just camp him. It's such a big deal. And you have to learn positioning. I think learning positioning is so cool.
Yes.
Having to learn where you can and can't stand around the guy like Chris in order to be safe from not just the BAP. The BAP is like a small little thing you have to watch out for, but like if you stand straight in front of him, he's gonna get you with several moves. The instant charge or like the instant swim forwards, the tail whip, like whatever. He can get you with a lot of stuff. It's just I think things that teach you to avoid certain areas of the monsters are so cool. Put respect on the monsters in that way.
Yeah, I think in general, that must be one of the ways that they've balanced the game for multiplayer.
Here he comes.
He was mad at you and not at me.
He's gonna swim again. I'm so confused. Oh, it's this move.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna cut. I was like
no.
animation lock.
As well.
I was trying to trying to get him.
I'm good. I think. I just need to be safe.
Don't we all? Don't we all, brother?
One.
We all just need to
two,
be safe.
Safe. Okay. I'm good, I think. He's limping away. I think he was before as well.
You sure was?
But he's still limping. Only on one feint this time, so we're doing a little better.
Yes, and it's me this time.
I'll wait for you this time.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
I feel like us charging in together will be a good final.
Absolutely.
Together.
Let's do it.
This game's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think duos are very fun as well.
They are. I want to do more of them over time.
Well, at least got it locked in for once every 2 weeks.
Yep. WizSora just popped in and said hello. I want to take a moment to just say hello to everybody who's coming. I know we haven't gotten to say hello to everyone like we might when we're normally streaming because we've been kind of focused on and carrying on discussion with one another. But just thank you all for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's cast, as varied and as all over the place and fun as it was.
I don't think it was too all over the place, but I guess that's neither here nor there. I think fun was had by all. I think some fun topics were discussed, and at the very least, some thought-provoking ones.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's get it. We got our duo gun lances here. We are ready.
Yeah.
You got your Wyvern Fire ready? Let's
I do.
This thing up.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go for the leg so that we can trip it and go for its back.
All right.
Ready?
Count us in, Chief.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, look at that. The Bruno Harbor woke it up.
And then I blasted you.
I am miffed.
Someone out there in the audience was like, "Oh, that's not gonna go well." Get the bag.
Don't worry, it's fine. This is what we saved my Wyvern Fire for. Just like the simulations. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. What are the odds?
I love Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is so good, dude.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is what happens while you're making plans. John Lennon said that, I believe.
Oh, there's a Banabra. You have to carve the Banabra. You have to carve the Banabra with me. Quick.
Alright. The old hero carver.
It's very important. When a Banabra drops, you must carve.
He's not there for me.
It's a religious thing.
He's not there for me.
Oh, okay, never mind. He might be somewhere else in the area for you, but maybe not.
Doesn't seem it.
Bummer. Okay, never mind. You're absolved.
Thank you.
I've just made it a requirement for me. Whenever you hear that noise, you have to card. Nice.
Oh, full
that
burst in the sharpness down. Man, what a wild ride this last 30 seconds was. I feel like it was indicative of the entire cast.
That's Monster Hunter, baby.
That's Monster Hunter, baby. You certainly may, Ryu. I hope Uchi can permit you. What a good... But yeah,
Let's see what we unlocked.
The old hero carve. It's good. I suspect we'll have to start the next thing with your Urgent. Because, as far as I'm aware, Urgent's always, like, you have to...
You would not believe how much I forget that because I never play multiplayer.
I'm so sorry.
I get reminded of that like once or twice a year and I'm like, oh yeah, that is how it works. Because this is how many games I've done that in Fallacy. One, my first one, 5 years ago. That was the last time I actually did Urgent rounds.
Very fair. Very fair. Oh boy. Well, I like that clip. It was pretty good. I assume we have it from two perspectives as well.
Probably so. Oh, good stuff. Did you get any good carves?
Yeah, they were all good carves.
My HR increased to HR2. Wait, did I post that or did you post that?
I actually hope it was.
Why?
Because I don't want to... Because I would rather you get it first. Alright, tell us what's on the menu for next time, Chief.
We unlocked the volcano. We hunt Diablos, who have not hunted in the village yet. That's cool. Barioth, who have not hunted in the village. Rathlos, who have not hunted in the village. Egnactor, who have not hunted in the village. Uragon, who have not hunted in the village. And that's all.
Outstanding.
Cool. That's a lot of stuff I haven't hunted yet in the village.
We're in for an exciting...
Probably by the time we get to it, I will have fought them in the village, but that's okay.
That's fine. That's fine. I think we're in for a good 3 Ewing, which I'm going to commit to it now. Here, live in front of this studio audience. It's going to have a name next time. It's going to have a blank
stare.
Don't give me a blank stare. It's going to have a name. We never committed to it. It's going to have a name. We're going to be like
You're
professional...
Right,
We're going to be... like professional podcasters. I'm actually gonna listen to one. My cat is coming to jump on my head again.
You have 2 weeks.
I've got 2 weeks to listen to our podcast. Riz said he'd never stream? What do you mean, Kyrule? Riz said he'd never stream.
I'm also confused about that.
Riz always streams.
I stream pretty frequently. We both do. How much have you missed? Like 4 hours? 4 hours of a podcast.
Thank you.
It's been a good one. It's been a good one.
The cat has come to say hello to you. She seems to do that at the end of every cast.
What's her name?
Her name is Alvina.
Alvina, hi. I like talking to cats. I talk to my cats at home all the time.
How are they doing? They settled in?
Yeah, totally. Cats are very happy. Cats are hooligans, but cats are very happy.
Oh,
My cat, who I raised by myself without another cat around, was very well behaved. Didn't get into things, didn't eat food off of our plates, whatever. This other cat is a stray cat who we picked up in the last like 3 or 4 months. He is a hooligan. Our trash, we have to keep moving and hiding our trash can because he keeps getting into it. It's the worst.
Yeah, I remember.
And like my other cat has been getting worse because she's around him. It's such a problem. Like we had to take legitimately, Fallison, okay, first off, this apartment is, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent right at the end. This apartment is scuffed. It has no cupboards. It has no pantries. It has no closets, nothing with a door. So it's got some shelves. There's like one set of shelves where we had our food up on like towards the top shelves. This cat learned how to climb the damn shelves and knock down the food. So all of our food is packed up into like a plastic tote right now because it's the only thing in the entire place that closes. It's ridiculous. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have to. We're gonna figure this out slowly.
For what it's worth, there are like my cats. Have I ever told you the story about how my cat climbed into the inner workings of a dishwasher the day we brought her home?
No.
So Alvina and Jojo, my brother and sister, and we were really hesitant to let them wander around the house. So we kept them in one area, and then we kept them in this area. A few hours later, we were like, okay, we'll let them start to walk around. And in the kitchen, we have a dishwasher, as households do. And we completely forgot that there's a gap about, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 inches
Like the
big.
size of a tennis ball, right?
Like tiny bit bigger than that. That tall, under our dishwasher. And the second she walks in the kitchen, we see her slink over to the dishwasher.
Yep.
And just slowly move her way inside of there. And I was like, oh no, it leads to under the house. She's gonna get out. Turns out it was like better, but also worse. Because she had climbed inside the machinery of the dishwasher. So we had to pull it out, get her upside down, like find a way to coax her out. And she's like this like new kitten. I'm scared. I've never had a cat before. We start like trying to like push her out by her butt. She's falling asleep in there. It's like, you absolute menace, you terror. But after 3 hours and a couple of broken plates, because we didn't want to empty the dishwasher to like, you know, who cares about the broken plates? We did manage to like get her out. But yeah, I then proceeded to take something and completely seal that hole up, like instantly.
I have a similar horror story for you. Not to go on and on about cat stories, because I feel like we could probably swap cat horror stories for a little bit. But this was when I was moving about 4 or 5 months ago now. And it was pretty stressful. Annie had already left. She'd already taken the first carload. We were moving 10 hours, and she'd already moved it because she had a job or like an internship she needed to be there for. So I'm left packing up the rest of the stuff with friends, not on my own. But like a very stressful day, trying to pack up everything we own into some boxes and get them loaded up into cars that don't look like they're going to fit all the stuff. They didn't. We got a trailer and it worked out. But we packed up the whole place, and like I had to leave the cat somewhere, and so I left it in the old apartment in like an empty room with like a kennel and like some water and litter or whatever. It was fine. And I come back later on that night. I've been spending the whole day just like sweating, throwing stuff in boxes, moving things, packing things up into cars for a long road trip. And I get back there and I walk into the room like ready to like cuddle this cat and like say like try and comfort the cat because like nothing's there. The cat's a little freaked out. I walk in there. It's a closed room, right? It's a room with a closet. It's a bedroom. I walk in there, no cat.
Oh,
and I'm like, what? And I look around. I'm like, did she get behind the crate? Like, what's going on? Like, she's behind the kennel. I look around. There's nothing. I look in the closet. In the closet, there is a wooden door to like a crawl space that goes like, you know, if you're like a room next to a bathroom, right? There's like a little wooden crawl space door. Maybe this isn't the case in Australian homes, but in the US, if you're in a room that's adjacent to a bathroom, there's like a little wooden panel that goes to behind the bathtub or behind the shower, so you can get access to the pipes there. Well, this cat had clawed open this door. I guess it wasn't like very secure, and I just hear meow, and I'm like, oh, where is she? And I look around and I see the crawl space. I'm like, oh no! And I open it up, and out of this like dusty, dirty crawl space crawls my cat. And comes out to see me, but like I'm just like, oh my god, she could have been gone forever. She could have gotten stuck in there, and it's just like nothing came of it. I just closed the damn thing up and was like, never again, we're moving. But oh my god, that was just, I'm remembering back to like, it must have felt similar to you being like, oh my gosh, we're never gonna get this kitten out. I was like, oh my gosh, I could have just lost my cat while I was moving. It was just the worst. It was so stressful.
Yeah, we've had like a whole bunch of scares. We had like a worse one with our boy, but I won't go too.
Yeah, like I said, it'd be easy for us to go back and forth. I think I gotta call it here pretty soon.
Yeah, no worries. I will let you go, but I will just say I had an absolute blast. I hope you did too. We had some productive conversation. And I can't wait for the next one. I think I'm gonna stick this one up on the tube. And probably
nice. I have both of our first two on my YouTube, I think, at this point.
Outstanding. Well,
yeah, I guess like we said earlier, if you're here in the stream and you haven't checked out Mr. Fallison, please check out Mr. Fallison's channel. They are a good friend of mine, a good friend on Twitch, and they stream things that are different than mine, so they might be something you'd like to see if you think I stream too much Monster Hunter. Yeah, thanks for doing this, Fal. It was fun.
Yeah, no, it was excellent. Do you have anything that you'd like to plug? Anything that you'd like to get
Crabs!
All right, thank you for clipping my mic. I really am glad I got these new headphones just to like hear the crusty digital distortion on your voice as you say crabs. But I'll have you know, it's the perfect time to do that because it's Crab Tuesday. And you know what Crab Tuesday is? Precursor to Crab Wednesday, which is tomorrow. Get hyped! It's gonna be sick. You're not the only one who does crab excitement around. We do
Good.
crab
Good.
hype. Damn day.
Good. Every day till sunbreak.
But only 2 of them.
Till daybreak.
Alright. It's Daywalker.
Daywalker. Alright, that's it.
But be sure to check out my friend RistrettoChronicles, who's gonna find us some raid, unless you would like me to.
Okay, hang on. Okay, let's see. For folks in my chat, if it's your first time here, when I'm not podcasting with Allison, I like to play through the Monster Hunter games pretty much exclusively. That's all we stream for the most part. We play through them very slowly, very thoroughly, trying to experience as many weapon matchups as we can, as many mechanics as we can, explore just about everything for the most part. So if that sounds good to you, feel free and leave a follow. We do have, I'm dropping some links in my chat right now. We do have a Discord and a YouTube and a Twitter you can check out. Those are the things I normally plug on our streams. Val, feel free and plug anything right now while I'm going to go ahead and find a person for us to raid.
Okay, I'm Fallison, for those of you who don't know me. I predominantly play Monster Hunter, but I do dip my toes into Final Fantasy XIV, and mostly jank games that I feel have flown under the radar. Right now we're knee-deep in our Spooktacular, which is a yearly event where we try and fit in as many horror games that are unique and interesting in 1 month. Now we're in a PS2 block, and we're finishing off a game called Fatal Frame 3, which was Koei Tecmo's answer to Silent Hill and Resident Evil. But last week we played some really interesting ones. We played a Taiwanese game called Detention, we played an Indonesian game called Dreadout, and a Japanese game called Yomawari, all very different in tone. So if any of that sounds like your cup of tea, then I'd love to have you. I also stream at DGen hours for most Americans. Tropical Ray, we're rating
So
a
Tropical Ray is another person who's streaming Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I wanted to kind of just keep the vibes going.
Outstanding.
And so they're doing a collaboration stream with someone's name who I recognize named Shun Nebura. So we're going to go ahead and give them a raid and keep going with the 3U vibes.
Shun and I are actually buds.
Oh, well, sweet. Then let's keep it going on over there. Keep the party rolling. But yeah, again, just thank you to everybody who was here. I know we didn't get to interact with chat as much as either myself or Fallison normally do, probably. But thanks for being here. It was a really fun time, and chat's interaction and questions, and I don't know, our topics made it all a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed.
I'm trying to type raid, but I accidentally typed it in your chat. Alvina.
That's why I pasted it in your chat. All right, I typed it in mine. Uh-oh, wait. I hope they're not. I can't tell if they're waving hi or saying goodbye. I hope they're not saying goodbye. We're going to raid them anyways.
All right, we're about to find out. They get to do
ready?
it.
Here we go. Cheers, everybody.
Goodbye,
Good night.
everyone. Love
Let's
you
go say
all.
hi
Take
to
care. See
Tropical Ray.
ya.
Good night. Bye-bye.